The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching dolly fishing.
Footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly vision headlights, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on their light. Topping up, Dolly vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast that feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby? Missing shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly vision headlights, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? Dolly back in the house again. Early morning for Dolly. I haven't been up this early in quite some time. Today, we are talking the Karen Reed confessions, okay? Because if you haven't seen her documentary that aired last night, she confessed that she was drinking and driving, and she basically don't remember what happened. Boom, right? We knew that anyway, but we're going to be discussing that today. Good morning, Ashes to Ashes, and I've seen you've been a member for 3 months. Welcome. Thanks for joining back up and looking at my ugly damn face all early in the morning, okay? So we're also going to be talking about the new images that have been coming out in the Sebastian Rogers case, and apparently Chris and Katie, they got court tomorrow, okay? They got court tomorrow. Also, we're going to be touching in on the mother of the year, Jen Soto, with the Maddie Soto case. Stephen Stearns, you guys remember that. We're going to be in Florida, August, covering that case for you live. And as you know, we will be in Massachusetts here soon to cover the Karen Reed case live. But first, I'm going to need a favor from you guys. Just in case some crazy woman backs over you at 24 miles an hour, okay, in reverse in a Lexus, I'm going to need your DNA on file. I'm going to need you to hit that like button, smear your DNA on it. You never know. You could get ran over. You could go missing in the hills of Tennessee, or you could have a bad step parent, okay? It could happen. You never know. So leave your DNA. And if you're brand new here, the first time you ever seen my ugly face, make sure you sub up, ring the bell for notifications. Help us hit 63,000 subscribers, okay? We're on a mission to hit 100K this year, and I'm going to need your damn help, okay? I'm going to need your help. So by a show of votes in the chat. Good morning, Helena. And as you see, we've set a goal. If we hit that goal, I will be doing a giveaway of some Dolly merch today. Okay. That is our goal for today. So How many of you, by a show of votes, I want you to press 1 in the chat if you've seen the new documentary series on Karen Reed last night on the ID channel. Okay, just press 1 in the chat if you've seen it. If you didn't, you can throw a 2 in there. 1, you seen it. 2, you didn't. Janae seen the docu-series. Okay, and I think every time Judy seen it, okay, well, we were paying attention to our true crime last night. Some of you guys get an A on your homework, okay? Some of y'all failed the class. You failed the class, but don't worry. We're gonna give you a little refresher of what went down last night. You know, apparently Karen Reed shot this documentary a little while back, and she thought it was going to come out where it made her look good, like it's going to be pro Karen Reed. But I don't really think that was the case. And Karen Reed came out yesterday on a certain channel. If y'all remember the other day, I debated an absolute idiot. Okay, hold on. I don't know who this is calling. Give me 1 second. Hold on, guys. All right. Okay. Telemarketers trying to sell me something. Okay. She happily signed her confession, says PJ. Well, there was a guy that came up here the other day, belligerently drunk, trying to defend Karen Reed, goes by the YouTube name Baby Gap. Okay. So apparently, Baby Gap, he comes up here, tries to debate Dolly on the Karen Reed situation, and he gets absolutely destroyed. Okay. Thank you, Turtle Gang. Thank you so much. So, you never try to debate somebody when you're drunk, especially defending a drunk. And he basically said, well, Karen Reed wasn't drinking. She was in the bar buying these drinks for somebody else. But on this documentary last night, Karen Reed admits that she was drinking and driving and she was intoxicated. Okay. So right there, she's guilty of that crime, even under her own confessions. Okay. And even in this documentary, in some stuff, she says, there's no way I could have hit him. I couldn't have done it. But in this one, she says, well, could I have backed into him? Could I hit his leg and he fell over and couldn't get up? Did he asphyxiate or whatever the hell she said, suffocate laying on the ground? But she basically says she don't really know if she hit him or not. So if you're drinking and driving and you can't remember what happened, what do you expect? So today we're going to be watching a little bit of her in court, but I want to show this video of on Karen Reed a little bit. All right, let me share the screen with y'all guys. And this just shows some of her guilt, because there's still a lot of people out there that are brainwashed and believe everything this woman says. Oh, and like I was saying, Baby Gap, she came up on the Baby Gap's channel yesterday, right? Pissed off about the documentary, thinking that, she had already heard that it was negative towards her, right? Well, everything really is negative towards you unless you're brainwashed. This lady is a complete narcissist. Okay, I think she wants to be famous, and she wants to be famous behind killing a police officer, right? Donna, thank you so much, Donna, for your donation. So, she's out there signing autographs, and, she just thinks she's a rock star, and it don't make a whole lot of sense. It don't make a whole lot of sense. Let me add this to the stage. Let's blow this up. Take a little look at this.
Karen, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know.
Remember those days when it was a tragic accident that she was so upset about?
My client has no criminal intent. She loved this man.
And you loved him, I'm sure.
I didn't. We were dating. We were dating.
Is there talk of marriage?
No. No.
Did you want that?
Karen was just a babysitter with benefits.
John made it clear to me, I'm never breaking up with you.
Except that his niece and nephew said that he was trying to break up with her and kick her out of the house, and she refused to leave like a psycho.
Johnny and Karen were arguing. It was kind of towards the end of their relationship.
The vibes were good. Yes. Yeah, the vibes were good.
John, I hate you!
And then John says, not into fighting all the time, correct.
They just seem to be in a happy place, you know.
At 2:34, he writes back, I'm not answering, stop calling.
Pervert! You're pervert!
Happy, having fun, laughing. Just very normal.
You're loser. Yourself.
So after Karen Reed's murder fundraiser this weekend, where she hosted the Skids of Massachusetts and autographed full-size posters of herself like the narcissist she is, she got served by Hank Brennan.
Hank the Tank, okay? Hank the Tank has been putting in work. And for you guys that don't know, you know, when you're retried, 85% of the time, it's a conviction, right? So there's motions today. We're going to be watching those motions live, but we got about 30 minutes before court TV kicks off. And, you know, I said the same thing. The lady's a narcissist. It's all about her, and she don't give two shits about John O'Keefe. And we got all these people, you know, fundraising yesterday for Karen Reed. Okay. You know, and Karen Reed made an appearance, and she just cannot help herself, right? Like every time she opens her mouth, she says something that makes her look more guilty, right? Just more guilty. And you listen, I can understand drunk people defending drunks. Like we seen Baby Gap come up here belligerently drunk, okay, defending a woman that was drunk and said she won't drinking. She was just in the bar getting other people drinks. But out her own mouth last night, she said she had been drinking. She had 6 drinks. She had a drink with her in the car that John took out the car, that she was intoxicated. She got back. She didn't know what happened to John. She don't even remember going to the house on Fairview. She calls Jim McCabe and says, hey, I left John at the watering hole and he didn't come home. She said, well, we seen you at the house. And she was like, oh, I don't even remember being there. This idiot comes up here drunk, says there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. Everybody testified that John O'Keefe was buried under a mound of snow, blizzard conditions. Okay, idiot over there that was all Karen Reed came on his channel. He almost jizzed on himself, right? Right. Look, this is the funny part. He said, Karen, who is your favorite YouTube channel? And she wouldn't say him. Right. I was thinking, oh my God. Right. He was like, tell the people who your favorite YouTube channel was. He was trying to get a plug for his channel. And she's like, well, I like all you guys for different reasons, right? She wouldn't even say him, right? Wouldn't even, look, he raising money for her. She couldn't even be like, yeah, you're one of my favorites. She couldn't even do it. Thank you so much for all you and PJ. I am so grateful for y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Britt. That is so nice of you guys. Y'all are awesome. But, you know, she did make an appearance and he was all happy and celebrating and how thankful he is to be involved in this case and how she's standing up for police corruption. Oh my God, you alcoholics, right? It was like a fucking AA meeting. Okay. When I tuned on to it, I thought I was watching an AA meeting. That's how bad it was. I was like, okay, this is drunks taking up for other drunks. Now listen, I ain't got a problem with you drinking. You know, but just like the commercials say, drink responsible. You get behind the wheel drinking, you can hurt yourself or you can hurt somebody else. Some of these people don't realize that. And she, you know, like I said, she admitted to drinking and driving. She admitted to being intoxicated. She admitted to not remembering, you know, being so intoxicated that she couldn't remember everything that happened that night. You know, and she did say, I could have hit him. Did I hit him? And, in the beginning, she said she never even put the car in reverse. So she's saying all these things that contradict herself. But here's the problem. They're going to play this shit in court. Hank the Tank is going to crush her. And for all these people that have been defending her blindly and just, I don't know why, right? Because money, she's paying people, right? And, we do know in this world, money can buy you freedom. If this woman gets away with this, this is a bigger travesty than the O.J. Simpson trial. Okay. That's how I look at it. I'm going to riot. Okay. I'm going to riot because then I know you can just truly buy your freedom in this country. That's because basically that's what it is. Let me buy my freedom and walk like crazy. And, out there, paying people to make it, turn it into a circus or a spectacle. So everybody has a opinion on it instead of being a fair jury trial where these people go into it not knowing about the case. These people out there putting up free Karen Reed signs, all that stuff. Who supports cop killers? Okay. Who the hell supports cop killers? That's what I don't understand. And these people, no matter what Karen does or what comes out, they pay it no mind. They blow it off like, Karen's innocent. Jim McCabe and all these people are horrible. I'm allergic to her bullshit. Okay. I am absolutely allergic to her bullshit.
Isn't it amazing that ABC, NBC, Boston Magazine, and Fox all sat on alleged confessions and never publicized it? That's malfeasance on all your parts. That's a fishing expedition. They don't exist.
This is the first time since John O'Keefe died she didn't have a huge smile on her face, and she looks upset.
You're about to go on trial for murder. Why are you smiling? Your boyfriend is dead.
She's a narcissist, and she's worried about one person and one person only, Karen Reed.
Put the car in reverse and ran him down and left him there to die.
She knew she had struck John O'Keefe, and she knew that she had left him behind.
She even drove back to the body at 5 a.m. to make sure he was dead before she brought the search party to find him.
I don't know. I don't know if she stopped, if she slowed down, if she got lost, if she took a wrong turn somewhere.
She stated to Miss McCabe,
She went by there and knew he was dead. Okay. She knew he was dead before she even went back. Okay. She went back. And you got to remember when she went to John O'Keefe's house, she went up inside and erased the video that would show her tail light broke and all that stuff. So, and then these people, the Karen Reed supporters will say, well, the police officer destroyed his phone. Well, he may have had some nudes or some stuff he shouldn't have supposed to have up there. Don't mean it had anything to do with Karen Reed. But here's the thing. They overlooked the fact that Karen Reed went into John O'Keefe's house and erased his cameras. Okay, they leave that part out.
I have hit him. Did I hit him?
She didn't say that. Who said? Jen McCabe says she said that.
I hit him. I hit him. I hit him.
The firefighter said that she said that too.
Who's the firefighter?
Repeated. I hit him.
Katie McLaughlin. Who's her best friend?
She's not a close personal friend of mine.
So by Turtle Boy logic, if you're on a track team together in high school and a murder happens, you're automatically in a pack with them. Murder pact for life. They're going to help you cover it up.
7 of you in a hot tub together, correct?
Small problem. These other 3 paramedics, they weren't on the track team.
I hit him. I hit him. Oh my God, I hit him.
Kind of running around screaming different things.
Could he be dead? Could he be dead? And she said, could I have hit him?
See, that's my thing. For their story, for their conspiracy to work, everybody has to be involved in it. I mean, everybody. So, I mean, listen, I support, people that believe there's police corruption. There is, and we need to fix that in our country. And it's in a lot of places. There's a lot of police corruption. I get it. But the whole damn police department ain't corrupt. The whole paramedics ain't corrupt. The coroner ain't corrupt. The judge ain't corrupt. I mean, they're blaming everybody for being bad, but the woman that was drinking and driving. Okay, everybody's terrible. Horrible people. But the lady that was out drinking and driving that night, she's great. She's the best. We love her. Okay.
Several times I hit him. I hit him.
Miss Reed calls her father and her mother a little after 1 o'clock on the night she struck and killed John O'Keefe. She called both of them, and those calls were unanswered, according to the phone records.
He didn't answer, and I texted him, John is dead.
Said, Dad, I think I struck something.
She thought.
Y'all hear that, right? Karen Reed, people, for some reason, when he says that, their ears get plugged. Their ears get plugged. For some reason, they have an ear back up, and they can't hear the fact that she called her daddy. She was telling people John was dead, that she hit something, right? She knew what she hit, you know, and then she says, well, last night she says, well, you know, my radio was up. I had the heat blasting, right? Like, I don't know how much noise your fucking heater makes in your car, but could I hit him? Could I have backed into him and hit his knee and he fell there and laid there? But at first, you never went in reverse. Which one is it? Did you go in reverse or did you not go in reverse? Because it looks like your ass went into reverse, okay? You went into reverse. You mowed down your boyfriend. You left him there. You came back, seen that he was hurt, and left him again to go pick up your witnesses, right? You know, if you would have stopped and helped that man, he'd be alive today and you wouldn't be going through this, right? Here's the thing. This woman wears $1,000 suits while she raises money, okay? Sell them fucking clothes you got, okay? Sell some of them clothes you got to make your money back, right? You got all these YouTubers brainwashed. You got a bunch of desperate men googly eyeing over you, right? Like Turtle Boy's in love with you. Baby Gap wants to marry you. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, Karen Reed. I don't know what the hell you got going on, lady, but I don't see it, okay? I know I got bad vision. Some people call me Dolly Bad Vision. And I'm glad because I don't see what the hell these people see in you. I just don't. I'm sorry for all my viewers that support Karen Reed, and I know there's some of y'all out there. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you, I'm not mad at you. You have the right to your opinion, okay? Just like I got the right to mine. And maybe you see something I don't see, okay? But I don't see it, okay? I see a bougie-ass woman that wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire, okay? She wouldn't put you out. I just don't see it, okay? I see a rich, snobby-ass woman that don't care about nobody but herself. A spoiled, rotten ass bitch. Okay, that's what I see. I don't know what y'all what the hell y'all see, but I don't know, right? Like, woman, I wouldn't have you. Okay, I wouldn't have you. I just wouldn't. You're not attractive to me. You're a murderer. You're a cop killer. You're a liar. You're a narcissist. I mean, I could go on for days, right? I just like, wow. What the hell is in the Kool-Aid? The best Kool-Aid in town, okay? America's best Kool-Aid.
She hit him.
she hit something.
Nobody debates that. She said she thought she might have hit him.
Why do you admit to it? She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that.
It was preceded by a did. Could I have hit him? And proceeded by a question mark.
Because who would ever think?
It was preceded by a question. No, it was preceded by you leaving his ass there dead, okay, to die. That's what it was preceded by. You hitting him, exclamation mark, preceded by you leaving him, okay? I don't know what the hell this lady, oh my God, right? Every time she talks, opens her mouth, you can see, listen, ladies, you know y'all can be a little crazy, okay? Just a little tiny bit, like that much, okay? Just a little bit. Every woman in here knows that y'all have a crazy switch, okay? It's just a matter of turning that crazy switch on. Why do you think I'm scared of PJ? Because you never know. I might accidentally pluck that crazy switch and get stabbed to death in my sleep. Every man knows that, right? We love you, but we also fear you, okay? We also fear you. If there's a man out here that ain't scared of a woman, he's stupid, okay? Men, if you listen to Dolly, fear these women. They're crazy and they will kill you, okay? If you want to live, keep a little fear. It keeps you quick and alert, okay? You got to have it. You got to have it or you could end up in a snowbank, okay? That's all it takes. That's all it. One little argument, you know, let's stop at this party. I don't want to go. Come on, let's just do it. Next thing you know, you're dead. That's how quick you can die in this world. You know that show, A Million Ways to Die? Okay, it don't take much. It does not take much.
that he actually got beaten to death and left outside in the cold by a bunch of animals.
So they just got lucky that she hit something that night?
They got extremely lucky.
Karen, how did the taillight get damaged?
You saw it. I backed up into John's car.
I backed up into John's car, right? That's how she says that taillight got broke. At moving at 0 miles an hour, she broke that taillight. But the Karen Reed people, right? The taillight is like indestructible. It's made of kryptonite. Okay. We heard the baby gap, right? We heard the baby gap. You cannot destroy a taillight. They just don't break. Okay. They're made out of steel.
Anywhere from 0 to 5 miles an hour. Would that create the damage to the taillight that you observed in this particular case?
At that speed, no.
I have told both Jen and Carrie that I cracked my taillight.
How she found out about the damage to her vehicle, to which she stated, quote, "I don't know. It happened last night."
She said, Dad, I think I struck something. I said, what do you mean struck something? All right, this was in the hospital. Right? He says, I remember, all right, backing up and hitting something.
It is not a fair.
She remembers backing up and hitting John O'Keefe is what she remembers. All right. So we're not, this is a motion hearing today that they're going to have, but she's not far from going to court. Jury selection starts April 1st, April Fool's Day. They should tell her, hey, look, we're going to drop the charges on you. And then be like, hell nah, bitch, April Fools. Right. One Eye Flo has been a member for 27 months. It says #1 bush watcher. Okay. I thought it said whacker, bushwhackers. Remember the bushwhackers on the damn WWE? Hi all. Hey, One Eyed Flo. Good to see you. The discovery alone, not he's who whooped him making extra judicial comment. Oh no, there was on court TV. This case should be dismissed. Definitely not dismissed. Okay, this case should not be dismissed. She is going to be convicted and she's going to prison for 2nd-degree murder. This just Hank the Tank is going to destroy her. And listen, listen, I don't want to laugh at all you Karen Reed supporters, not all of you, right? Because I know some of you are good people, right? Y'all are good people. Y'all just believe something, y'all been misled, and you need to be deprogrammed, right? It's been like you believe it because your friends believe it. You don't believe it because you use critical thinking in your own mind to come to a conclusion. Because these people say there's factual proof. Just because they put the word factual in it, don't make it fucking factual. Okay. They say it all the time. There's factual proof that she's innocent. Well, what is it? Right. Because everybody that debates me on it, I simply destroy you. Just destroy you. Like it ain't even a competition. It's like, explain it to me. Explain to me why she was trying to cheat on this man, but y'all act like she loved him. You see how she talks about him, laughs, smiles. Bitch is crazy, okay? And if there's one thing I know in this world is a crazy woman. That's the only thing I got experience in this world is crazy women. Right? And I know one when I see one.
Conclusion that a person would be so fixated on a mere nudging of another car that caused no damage hours earlier when we're dealing with the potential loss of life.
She knows exactly what she did, and she's trying to buy and lie her way out of this.
My client
Hank is the man. Hank the Tank. You think Hank the Tank is an embarrassment? Hank the Tank is the man. I'm going to be in Massachusetts selling Hank the Tank t-shirts. What the hell are you talking about? Hank is destroying it. Hank is destroying it. You didn't see that fear in her face with the last prosecutor. Like, she better be scared. Hank the Tank is coming. Okay? He's coming. Good Lord. I would not want that man prosecuting me. And let me tell you, Dolly stood in front of some prosecutors. Okay? I stood in front of some prosecutors. I wouldn't want that man standing over there trying to put me away. Oh, hell no.
unfortunately was diagnosed with having a brain tumor.
By the way, I hate this woman, and I hope she puts her foot in her mouth. I hope has enough, basically, metaphorical road to basically hang herself with her interviews. She's a narcissist.
There are a number of public.
Oh, they're going to prove her guilty. They're going to prove her guilty. He's dead. She's the last one there. Tail light pieces in his clothes. She's a hooker. She didn't like kids. There's all the proof I need. Okay, if I was on jury, she'd be done. Most of the jury had her convicted last time. This is a whole different game this time. They are going to destroy her. They got impressions of Chloe's teeth. It ain't a dog bite. The call how long to die didn't happen at 2:47 in the morning. It happened at 6 something, just like Jim McCabe said. Karen Reed's own statements that she's done in these documentaries are going to, she's done. I mean, done. Okay. Now, you can come back after this and you can be like, Dolly, you were right. I should have listened to you. Hashtag free Chloe, right? Stop blaming damn Chloe for something she didn't do. Innocent ass dog. Okay. The only one that was innocent that night was Chloe.
Statements that Ms. Reed has made to a national audience that don't reconcile with other statements she has made at other times.
Since Karen Reed never said she did a 3-point turn, that's just untrue.
Well, it's in the affidavit that she
Michael
said that.
Proctor said that Karen Reed said she did.
I know. Everyone in the country is lying except for her.
I like that dude. I like him. I like him. That's the same thing I say. He sounds just like me. Everybody's a fucking liar but her. Okay, the one lady that was drinking and driving, boozy rich woman, she's the only truthful person in Massachusetts. According to them, according to their logic, if you know them, you're in on the conspiracy. Okay, all you gotta do is know them. That's insane. It's insane thinking. And so many people have been brainwashed to this because maybe they like the YouTuber and they're like, oh, well, he wouldn't lie to us. For people like, she's not really a hooker. I was just saying she was being cheatful and unfaithful and being hookerish. Okay. Not that she's an actual hooker. Okay. She ain't on the corner selling her butt crack. So, I mean, she got too much money for that. Right. Like, and that's most of y'all's money that support her. Okay. She got all y'all's money that supports her. She's raised millions. Okay. She's raised millions. And there was a 12-hour fundraiser for her yesterday. For a rich lady. Okay. For a rich lady. Let's raise money for a rich person. Okay. That sounds like something that sounds like a plan. Who the hell came up with that one? Who came up with that shit? Okay. If you're going to raise money for somebody, raise some money for somebody that broke. Raise some money for my broke ass. Okay. Y'all want to do a fundraiser? Fundraise for Dolly broke ass. Okay. You don't fundraise for somebody that got $1 million in the bank. Okay. It just don't make no damn sense to me.
She stated that she made a 3-point turn after dropping him off and left.
The thing is, she originally said she made a 3-point turn back when she was claiming it was a tragic accident because she had to explain why she was ever in reverse.
She says that's what she says happened, that he ran to the door.
She says that now.
She said that before.
Originally, she said...
She was asked if she saw Mr. O'Keefe walk into the home at 34 Fairview.
She said
she
no.
Stated she did not.
And many.
Now she says she's seen him almost go in. Right. So listen, we got a lady that's changing her story, right? Changing her story, admitted that she was drunk and don't remember, right? But these people are so confident that she didn't do it, right? Well, how can you be confident she didn't do it if she's not confident that she didn't do it? She's sitting there going, I may have hit him. Did I hit him? She's not confident, but you got hundreds and hundreds of people that are screaming free this lady that are confident she didn't do it. But yet herself, she don't know. Crazy.
In the interviews, the story changes.
And I had the passenger side facing the driveway. And I said, John, can you just run in there and pull at the foot of the driveway? It's snowing. John has no coat on. It's windy. So I drop him off. He goes up the driveway and approaches the side door. And as I see him approach the door, I look down at my phone, see him open the door and put his head inside.
See her story changing? See how quick that story changed? She didn't see him. She seen him approaching the door. Then the next time she tells the story, she's on the porch. He's head in the door. But none of these people in the house seen him. Nobody seen her but her. And she didn't even remember being there. Now, if she didn't remember being there, how does she remember all this? Okay? How does she remember all this? And she don't even remember being there at the house. Right? So these people have attacked all these police officers. They attacked Jen McCabe, even her friend, John's family, everybody around John. Okay. Like, which makes no sense because he's the victim. People are treating Karen Reed like she is the victim in this. And they forget that John O'Keefe is the victim. He laid there and died. His family got booed. His friends are being accused of shit they didn't do. People have turned all this into a conspiracy when actuality it's all a tragic accident from a person drinking and driving. We all know you don't drink and drive. Why? Because a tragic accident can happen. That's why they don't want you drinking and driving. This right here.
At one point, she has them going to the side door of the house. In fact, in 3 of the interviews, he's going to the side door of the house.
Why aren't you signaling to me? So soon thereafter, within Dennis probably 2 full minutes, I start calling him.
Are you getting ticked at him?
Yeah, I am ticked at him at this time. Yeah.
So what happens next?
We know by the calls you were ticked at him. Okay. You sit there and said he was a loser, that he was a pervert, that you hated him, you know, all these things, right? This is the woman people are defending, right? Makes no sense.
Left.
Well, that's the most blatant lie of her entire story because we have her phone records. We know that she never called John O'Keefe until she was across town connecting to his Wi-Fi. So, no, she never called him while she was outside that house, called and texted him. She didn't text him till like 20 minutes later.
And she says she's left after a couple minutes, right? Like you were mad after a couple minutes. You were ready to leave after a couple minutes. You couldn't wait 5-10 minutes. You would just leave. Now, let me ask you this. Who would leave their old man like that somewhere in a blizzard? Who would do it? I know PJ wouldn't leave me like that. Even if I went in the house for 20 minutes, she'd come beating on the door, come out, come on, let's go. I'm ready to go home. She wouldn't leave, right? No crazy woman's going to leave. They got to get the last word in. You can't have the last word with a woman. That's how I know she's lying. Okay? If he would have went in that house and not came out, she'd have been beating on that door, causing a scene. They'd have had to call the police. That's how women operate. Okay? They don't just leave you there, let you get the last word, and they just drive off. That shit don't happen. Not in this universe.
And then 30 minutes later, she says, John, no one knows where you are. Really?
And it pissed me off because 1, I didn't really want to be there. 2, I had to go to the bathroom.
Balloon knot leaks.
See, when she speaks, how she just hurts herself. She didn't want to be there. It pissed her off. But she's the only person that has a motive to hurt John O'Keefe. What motive did the police have inside that home on Fairview to hurt John O'Keefe? Zero motive to hurt the man. But yeah, he's laying there dead. The only person mad at him, calling him a loser and a pervert, is this woman that allegedly struck him with the car.
Right?
Yes.
The Commonwealth does not reason.
You're right. She might have backed over me.
Statements to all of these different outlets. She's entitled to. She's presumed.
PJ might have been doing donuts on me and shit. In circles. They'd have looked out the window and been like, damn, she done ran that dude over like 7-8 times.
Innocent. She can make all the statements she wants. But when she does, there is a consequence for that. And they now bear the consequence of these statements that have been made. And so, since it is not a confidential informant, it's a very public, identified person. It's Miss Reed herself. Doe and promulgation has no merit.
She's changed her story so many times, and her cult wants to equate other witnesses not remembering details as if it's the same thing as Karen changing her story, making up lies about the last time she saw her boyfriend alive when he is dead in the snow. That is not the same as not remembering what time you called somebody or what time you looked out the window. Get a grip, y'all. You nuts.
But could I have clipped him? Could I have tagged him in the knee and incapacitated him? He didn't look mortally wounded as far as I could see, but could I have done something that knocked him out and in drunkenness and in the cold didn't come to again?
And this would have been the moment you dropped him off at the party.
Yeah, would have had to have been within minutes
Right.
of him exiting my.
Right there. I mean, out her own mouth. You heard her statement that she could have hit him, dropping him off. I mean, right out her own damn mouth. In the new documentary, she says that she was drinking. She says she was intoxicated. She says she didn't remember some of it. She said, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? The same type things. Every time she opens her mouth, and this is what's going to be played against her in court, because she's not going to testify for herself. Right? So they're going to play all these videos of her talking. And I hope they paid her good, right? Because, she got paid to do these. She didn't do these free, right? These interviews she's doing, these documentaries she's doing, she's getting paid for those, right? I hope it was good money, because that shit's about to put you in prison for the next 40 years. And at your age, that's life in prison, okay? This is like right now, if you gave me 40 years in prison, I'd never get out. You give her 40 years in prison, she's never getting out. All her money's gone. All the money she's done spent everybody else's, her daddy's money, house already belongs to the lawyers. She's hating it. She is hating it.
The car is not answering his phone. Minutes.
I feel like I was fooled.
By whom?
By Karen.
I hate you!
Minutes.
John, I'm here with your kids, and nobody knows where the you are, you pervert.
What does she mean she doesn't know where he is? It's a blizzard. Where the hell else would he be? He's either with you in your car or wherever you left him.
John O'Keefe and Karen Reed never entered my house.
12 people didn't see a guy go in the house. Like, that's what you were relying on.
12 people also didn't see a body when they left.
I did notice something out of the ordinary, like a black blob in the ground by the flagpole.
I also was not looking out my window.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did anybody in this courtroom ask you if you were looking out your window?
I wouldn't be staring at her grass, so no.
Yeah, like who the hell's walking out of a house looking for a body? Okay. And I've used this plenty of time. My neighbor got shot, right? I pulled up to my parking spot and there was a guy parked in my parking spot. I was beeping the horn, throwing my hands up. That guy I was throwing my hands up at just shot the neighbor. Okay. He pulls off. I get out the car. The neighbor's laid in the bushes, shot. I walk right into the house. Okay. Don't even see him. Don't hear him. Don't see him. But I wasn't looking for him. I wasn't paying. My mind was, why is this dude parked in my parking spot? Right? That's what I was thinking. And then I go in. Tiffany's mom, my baby's mama, was watching Cops. Believe it or not, she was watching Cops. And she's like, do you hear that? The sirens? And I was like, nah. She's like, I was like, it's the TV. She's like, oh, no, that ain't the TV. And she turns the TV down all the way down. And I could hear it. And it sounds like it's right outside my house. So I step back out on the porch. Sure enough, the neighbor is crawling out the bush, is shot. He got shot in the butt. Okay. The dude shot him. I think he got shot in the leg and in the ass. Okay. He got shot. Matter of fact, that's the second time he got shot. Okay. The other neighbor told me he was selling drugs, but he got shot 2 different times, not the same night, but the night that I pulled up, that was the second time he had been shot out there. So he got shot in the leg and got shot in the butt. I never even noticed it. Walked right by him. And you would think, well, how can you walk by somebody that got shot? I did. No lie. I walked right past him. Didn't, because I wasn't looking for him. Right? Like if I was looking around, like, is there somebody out here shot? I probably would have seen him.
Okay.
I didn't ask you where you were staring. I was just asking if there were any obstructions.
And nobody knows what the you want, you pervert.
We got this person blaming Chloe. Listen, we ain't gonna be blaming the dog up in here. All right, you can blame a lot of people. You can blame Jim McCain. You can blame the damn Alberts, but you ain't gonna be up in here blaming Chloe. I'm gonna time you out. Okay, no, I'm playing. They got molds of Chloe's teeth. Chloe ain't missing. Okay, dog bite, shot out. Dog bite expert, dumbest woman on the planet. Okay, let's be honest. Hank the Tank destroyed the dog bite expert. Okay, if we don't agree on anything, let's at least agree that he destroyed the dog bite expert. Now they have molds of Chloe's teeth. Chloe didn't bite John. All right, court case about to start. About to start. We'll get to that in a minute. So now, of course, they done blew out the water, house long to die in the cold. They done blew out the dog bites. They got a new reenactment of the death. Karen's done, guys. Karen's done for her one supporter in here.
Minutes. John has no coat on.
He's not chilling in a blizzard with no jacket.
Hey, Karen, we saw you outside of my sister's.
I saw the black SUV arrived
There was another vehicle in front of us
up the hill towards us.
on the same road coming from the opposite direction.
It was a black SUV.
I've noticed a male and a female in the car.
A car length and a half in front of me.
There was another car that I hadn't recognized before. It was a dark SUV.
Saw it pull up, stopped, pulled up again, stopped, pulled up again by the flagpole, stopped. That's all I saw.
Just turned around and looked through the blinds.
It wasn't going 50 miles an hour, correct?
I mean, I didn't have a radar gun on me, but no.
Goes up the driveway and approaches the side door.
0 people have said that they saw him enter the home.
Because he's dead.
And at any point in time, did you see anybody exit from that vehicle at any point?
No.
You never saw anyone around the SUV, correct?
Correct.
Ryan Nagel didn't see him going out because he ran. Because it was real quick. Because he ran because it was cold out.
He must have ran real fast.
That makes sense to a lot of people. What doesn't make sense to anyone with the brain. His phone did not enter that home. Oh, really? Actually, it did. So he was going up and down the stairs between 12:21 and 12:24.
But Waze says he didn't get there till 12:24.
The Waze does not say.
Well, listen, the cops can be corrupt and she can be guilty. Both things could be true. Okay? You could have corrupt cops and Karen Reed still ran them over. Okay? Just because the cops are bad don't mean she didn't commit a crime. Because we got bad cops, everybody's innocent. Okay? That would make everybody innocent everywhere with that logic. Okay, I got bad cops here. That means I didn't do it. Okay, I ain't do it. Everybody in jail innocent, right? You ever been locked up? Ask anybody in there. They didn't do it. Not one person in there can be like, hey, yeah, I did it. Nobody. Everybody in the whole jail is innocent. So just because you got bad cops, should nobody ever go to jail? Shit, next time I get locked up, I'm going to be like, look, I couldn't have done it. We got bad cops in Virginia. I'm sure one of them's bad. I don't know which one, but I'm sure one of these cops are bad. How you going to lock me up when you got a bad cop on the force? Okay, don't break the law. You can have bad cops, don't mean you still don't have criminals. What kind of logic is that?
Say that. They were with the ascending, descending stairs. They would continue down through this little piece here, take the right onto Cedar Crest. They continue down Cedar Crest, missing Fairview right here, and then turn back around and then come to the house.
Julie Nagel, who is unrelated to the Alberts, was waiting for her brother to arrive, standing by the door looking out the window. He pulled up the car with his girlfriend and his friend. Julie Nagel comes out to the car, talks to her brother, and goes back inside the house. There's no chance in hell that John O'Keefe just slipped by them and went in the house. Furthermore, his phone data shows he never went further than the spot that he was found.
Stay out of jail, right?
Point number 345.
So whether you like...
That's hard to say there, Ellie. I'm going to do something stupid. Okay, I'm only human. All right? I'm only human. I'm going to do something eventually stupid.
them or not, these are facts.
There's no any plotted points anywhere other than right in this area for the rest of the night. This is where it stays.
At this point, you have to believe that John O'Keefe was wearing an invisible cloak and he went into the house and nobody saw him.
Now, that's 74.5% as far as the pressure being applied to the accelerator pedal, correct?
Correct.
So the Lexus data from the first trial shows that she pushed the pedal down 75% of the way.
Beach. All right, listen. After this court case, you're more than welcome to come back. I'm telling you, she's going to be found guilty. All right. She's going to be found guilty this time. Just like the Melendez brothers. You know, they were hung jury the first time. Second trial, they were convicted in an hour. All right. She's going to be convicted. They're not going to let her get away with killing a cop. She's done. All right. Now, you can come back and discuss it after this. And I can be like, hey, I told you so. Now, if I'm wrong, then you get to come back and be like, Dolly, you're dumb as hell. Okay, you're dumb as hell. I told you, dumbass. Right? You get to do that. Right? But let me tell you this. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. Okay? Like, I've seen a lot of guilty people in my day. This woman guilty.
Way, got it up to 24 miles per hour, and there was a reduction in speed, but no reduction in acceleration, meaning she hit something and the steering wheel jostled. And that was the data that we saw in the first trial. So now the prosecution is asking to re-examine that data. And Karen Reed's team is like, no, don't examine it. But if she was innocent, wouldn't she want them to re-examine the data? Because if a better expert came to look at that data, they'd clearly see that she did not hit John O'Keefe, right? But no, she doesn't want them to look at it. Ask yourself, why would that be?
You're right. Sometimes guilty people do get off, right? But it ain't this time. You know, it's not going to be this time. Boston's going to do the right thing. She's going to prison. So, for her supporters, y'all guys did a good job supporting her. Right. And you just got to accept the fact that the woman's guilty and she's going to be found guilty and you're going to have to live with it. But don't worry. Y'all can always fight for an appeal and rally and do things like that. Don't worry. Just because she goes to prison don't mean y'all's fight ends. Y'all get to continue to be a little club and free Karen Reed. Right. The fucked up thing is this is Karen Reed is free. She's not locked up. I don't get the whole free Karen Reed signs when she's not in jail. She hasn't been convicted. I mean, y'all should save those signs to after she gets convicted. Then y'all could be out there with free Karen Reed signs. And, why not have justice for John O'Keefe signs? Because that would make too much sense. Okay, that would make too much sense.
That as I slowly edge my way down the street, he's going to say, wait, Karen, where are you going?
3 feet, area where the GPS signals all plot for the rest of the night.
No, they never came into my home.
Nobody put John O'Keefe anywhere but where he was found, and that included his girlfriend.
The characteristics of the object that comes in contact with a person will often leave the characteristics on that person in the form of an abrasion.
And she's pointing the finger at everybody. Everyone's lying except for her.
Where was the shoe?
I don't know.
The Canton police searched it. They took his body out of there, and he's wearing one shoe.
The other one's
Where's
gone.
the other shoe?
Shoes can't come off in a pedestrian impact.
So how drunk were you?
I had felt like I had alcohol. I felt that I had a buzz, but I did not feel it was unsafe for me to be operating my vehicle.
Okay. Well, if you don't remember what you did that night, I think that's a little unsafe to be operating your vehicle. 6 drinks. Okay. 6 vodkas and sodas. And really you had 9. All right. If you got, they got the receipts, they got the videos from the bar. She had at least 9 drinks, and she had a drink in the car with her that she was mad that John took when he got out in the car.
Everybody's mistaken except for you.
Do you understand what a defense's job is? They're hired guns. They look at the evidence and look for what they can use.
Yeah.
They're ignoring a lot of shit just
What are
to
they
focus
ignoring?
on.
Tell me one thing they're ignoring.
All of Karen's voicemails telling him she hates him and screaming at him and stuff.
You're a loser. yourself.
Oh, how many voicemails?
They have that.
So there's one
right?
voicemail of her saying, I hate you.
I called him just over 50 times.
50 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. That shows you right there how crazy this lady is. All right. Not only you crazy, but you stalkerish.
And it's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to incriminate myself further by leaving
Well, she's
a
a
voicemail
drunk
saying I hate
idiot.
you.
I think we know she was a drunk idiot then.
Oh yes, she's the idiot. She's college educated, teaches, but she's the idiot, not you.
Yes, she's the idiot. She was the one that made, she ain't, but so smart, she got behind the wheel drinking and driving. All right. She's the fucking idiot. You an idiot.
How she's a drunk. Look at her face.
We were happy, having fun, laughing.
You pervert. You're a pervert.
Just very normal.
They got her at home on the Ring camera footage at 12:41.
They were all drinking and driving, right? It don't make it what the police were doing right. That's what I'm saying. The police were doing wrong too. But that don't mean Karen Reed didn't kill him. Just because the police were drinking and driving, they were breaking the law too. Should they be in trouble? If they were driving, yes. But we don't know who was driving the vehicle for the police and who was driving and who wasn't driving. We know Karen was driving and in reverse at 24 miles an hour. Good Lord. All right. I want to see Turtle Boy stand behind her car on a bender.
It's undeniable that she went by there.
They don't have her on the Ring camera footage. She deleted that.
No, they have.
He's free right now, right? Turtle Boy. I think he has court today. I think he has court today also. It's either today or tomorrow. I think it's today. Yeah, he may end up back in jail. I doubt it, right? Because this is a victimless crime. I mean, really, he's not hurt anybody. He's harassed people, but they may put you in jail for that. They may not. It's not like a super violent crime.
Have that. She did not delete anything.
I answered the phone and she said, John's dead.
Because he's dead.
He might have gotten hit by a plow.
Miss Reed came running up my walkway, saying that she had cracked her taillight. We need to go to Fairview. I told Matt that I was going to go with Karen.
I remember there was one piece of metal sort of sticking out.
She told me that she had to remember the bad times.
So I looked over and I didn't see anything. And I looked at Jen and I said, she's crazy. And I unlocked the door and I sat back and watched. And she ran over to a mound of snow.
I saw nothing.
But couldn't see him right away. I had to get out of the truck to see.
How soon was it when you pulled in there that you saw John's body?
Immediately.
Because she knew where he was.
It didn't look like John. I mean, I couldn't see his face or his hair, but I knew it was him.
I dug his head out, rubbed the snow.
Carrie wiping the snow off of John.
And you got to remember, Carrie is not Karen Reed's friend. Carrie is John O'Keefe's friend, close friend. Now, why would John O'Keefe's close friend be lying? Okay. She wasn't in the house. She called her up because that was John's close friend was Carrie. All right. So why would Carrie lie? She don't have a dog in the fight. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Thank you for your donation. That is awesome of you. Good morning. And I'm about to kick over to the trial here in just a minute, the motion hearing.
John's face, and I could not believe that was John laying there.
And she said, we found him in the snow at 5 a.m.
Karen, did you ever say I hit him? I hit him.
I did not. I said I hit him.
It was several times.
See what I mean? Her own words are going to do her in. Right there, it shows you she's a liar. She never said it. And then in the next interview, she says it. Like, which one is it? Which one is it? Did you not hit him? Did you hit him? You said both. You said you'd never been in reverse. Then you said you put the car in reverse. Like, you were trying to cheat on the man. And like, people would blow that off like it was nothing, right? That you was trying to sleep with this dude. And as soon as John died, you text messaged him and said, John's dead, trying to get a booty call. You didn't even let the man, wasn't even buried yet. Like, you didn't let them even put the man in the ground before you trying to get some side strange. That shit is crazy.
It's on the rear door right underneath the window. Any transfer that could have been left behind by a victim.
You're able to
exclude at least 99.895% of the population.
839 million times more likely if it originated from John O'Keefe and an unknown individual.
You ain't never scratched your head on a bumper? You know, your head be itching and you just scratch it on a bumper like a damn goat or damn, like with your antlers. You ain't never just scratched your head on a bumper? That man actually came in here and said that. Okay. You ain't never scratched your head on a bumper. Has anybody ever out here was like, damn, my head is itching. Let me go scratch it on the bumper of a car. Has anybody out here ever scratched their head on the bumper of a car? He literally came in this channel and said, you ain't never scratched your head on a bumper. Be like, bro, I don't know what you be doing in your free time while you over there drinking whiskey, but I've never scratched my head on a bumper of a car. Okay. And be like, oh damn, man, I got, dry scalp. Let me go rub it on the bumper of this car. Like, what the hell? What are you smoking?
Then if it originated from two unknown, unrelated individuals, the world population, I think, currently is about 8 billion, which is an 8 followed by 9 zeros. And 510 million has 30 zeros in it. So it's larger.
Refusing to take accountability for her actions. Not only that, but pointing the finger and blaming innocent people.
This is a direction, a directive. Either you trust me or you don't.
God chose Aaron Reed. It says the low IQ cult. Okay. All right. Trial hasn't started yet, so we still got a few minutes.
I'm the proud father of Karen Reed.
To be in this situation because only she is strong enough.
Be courageous. Be factually innocent. Yes.
Factually innocent. There we go. Another idiot using the word factually. She is factually innocent. Just because you put factually in front of it, don't make her innocent. Okay. They like to use that. You ever notice that it's like the word of the day? You got dumbass Baby Gap saying it. You got dumbass Turtle Boy saying it. Factually innocent. Factually innocent. I think she's factually guilty. Okay. Factually guilty is the word we're using today. This woman is factually guilty.
Karen Reed.
This was a cover-up that John was murdered inside that house. His body was placed outside.
Ms. Albert, how many steps is it from the front door to the basement?
Steps? I think he walked into the house. I think he was confronted, was likely brought down to the basement.
You have never been in a...
He was confronted and likely brought down to the basement. For what? What motive did they have to do it? Okay. Now, you know what the other cult general told me when I was in Boston, right? When I was in Massachusetts, right? Denham. He said that the police were selling steroids to the football team. And John O'Keefe knew, so they killed him. Make that make sense. Okay. Now, you got to remember, John O'Keefe wasn't dead when he was in the yard. He was injured and he died at the hospital from head injuries and hypothermia. Now, if he hadn't have died, wouldn't he have been able to say the people in the house beat me up? So why would they just leave him in the yard beat up? Don't you think the police could come up with a better cover up than dropping your ass off in their own front yard? Effing factually guilty. Okay. Factually guilty. There you go. EFFKR. Factually guilty. Effing factually guilty. She's factually guilty. There's just no other way. Factually.
A hot tub with Colin Albert, correct?
Not that I know of, no.
Is it unusual for you to see him sort of practice fighting?
I wouldn't call that practice fighting.
You show him how you would throw a punch?
I don't remember that, no.
Welcome to Lovewood Galleria. Let's get justice for John O'Keefe. We got Brian Elhurt sitting in the front. Woo! Shout out to you.
I get the F Karen Reed, PJ. I got it.
Killer, cough killer.
Do you know that your husband is a highly trained fighter, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Absolutely not.
Who are your college roommates? At some point, did you flip him around?
Yes, I just said that here as well.
Did you clench your fists that night?
Looks like he's been in a fist fight and he's been beaten.
A highly trained fighter? No, he's not.
They were playing a little grab ass with each other.
Yeah, I get overwhelmed easy, so I'm not gonna make up a time. I don't remember.
Was Caitlin in the?
Yeah. Why is he fucking recording me?
Was Caitlin in the house when they murdered John?
What the fuck are you doing?
Was Caitlin in the house when they murdered John?
Even in one portion of it, I was fooling around with Brian Higgins.
Fooling around?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Are you saying, taking you literally, that they grabbed each other's asses? Is that it?
No, I'm saying grab ass. It's a figure of speech.
He knew what it was. He didn't know what grab ass was. The same thing that Turtle Boy and Baby Gap were doing when they were dry humping each other outside the pizza shop.
The negative or hate that's directed towards me, mostly me and my mother, is because we support these people who are being falsely accused of something they didn't do, right? And their lives have been turned upside down and partially ruined.
Paul O'Keefe used the money that was raised for the children of John O'Keefe for his own purposes.
Celebrating the indictment of Karen Reed. Has anybody in this courtroom today asked you about the other mutual friends who were there?
Hey, sweetheart, Katie, I can promise you, on your wedding day, you will think of me.
I mean, you'd have to.
That dude is creepy. Tom CPU is creepy as shit. I've talked to him in person. He don't seem like a bad guy, but he's a little creepy. This grown ass man offered me a piece of candy. Okay. I thought I was going to get kidnapped. And wake up in Waco, Texas somewhere. Okay. I didn't know. I thought I was going to end up in a compound, tied up, right? Weird. I just don't know. Like, why does he look like the dude from Heaven's Gate cult? Anybody can tell me? Like, he looks just like the dude from Heaven's Gate. You got weird ass Turtle Boy. You got weird ass Tom. You got weird ass drunk Baby Gap, right? These are the people defending Karen Reed. All right. Like, what the fuck? Right? Like, what the hell? I just make that make sense. Like, she picked the dream team, didn't she? And you thought Seth Rogers' team was bad? Oh my God. Seth Rogers got a better picker than Karen Reed. I mean, free candy. Yeah, he got damn free candy written right on the side of his van. All right. Creepy ass dude.
Split it up and quantify what conversations were about the actual case and what conversations have been the harassment we've faced since then.
You're a fucking maggot.
How so?
You don't punch your fucking head.
Really? Like you guys did to John? You guys like punching people. I know you like punching people.
Get the fuck away from me.
I mean, are you gonna do what like what you guys did to John O'Keefe? Are you murdered him? No? I mean, I'm just curious. Are you gonna punch me? You said you're gonna punch me.
She's not a close personal friend of mine.
I can't wait till you have kids. Oh, please, hurry. Please, I have so many thoughts and ideas.
Tell me, I can't wait to you. Who says some shit like that? Tom, you are creepy. Tom, I ain't seen this before I talked to you, Grunt. I would have never even talked to you. Oh my God. That is a little creepy. That's a little creepy right there. I can't wait for you to have kids. Like, why do these dudes sound like they being pleasuring themselves while it's gross. It's gross. God, this is horrible.
If it's true, Caitlin, I'm praying that it's true.
This is what horror movies are made of. Okay. I've seen horror movies not this scary. It gets worse. You're not done listening. It gets worse than this. Holy shit. All right. This dude right here is creeping me out. All right. He's totally creeping me out. Let's see where we're at in the court case. Hasn't really started yet. They're on sidebar. Okay, let's go back to creepy.
I need a new hobby.
Isn't that correct?
Okay, if I said that, yes, because I was not sure. I'm still not sure that if he was there or not.
Nevercracker wouldn't a photo of somebody on his lawn with drinks in their hands, correct?
The cartoon character, Nevercracker?
Yes.
Yeah, he was actually asking us to watch his house while he was away.
Did anybody believe that? That John O'Keefe would ask this guy to watch his house while he was away? Did you see the number of signals? It was like he's a pitching coach giving the signals to this guy.
This lady right here is a lawyer. Like, you would have to be brain dead to hire this fucking lady. Okay? Anybody that can sit there and talk to and think he's a legitimate source of information is a fucking idiot. Okay? Like, just by the I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how the hell did you get a law degree? How did you get a law degree? Like, how the hell did you become a lawyer with no common damn sense? Okay? People be book smart, not have a lick of fucking common sense.
Tell me you're trespassing. Please leave.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you a question.
You can't ask me anything.
Okay.
Get out of my store right now.
Okay. You don't want to answer any questions? I mean, you're the one that messaged me.
Not to you.
Why
buddy.
not? What's wrong with me?
Get out of my store, please.
Thanks. Where can I find Colin?
You are a loser.
He thought it was hilarious. We actually showed him other people that photo too. They thought it was funny.
Oh, you thought it was funny because you like to mock people. Because you and your wife like to mock people by jumping on their fence and straddling it and putting the thumbs up and sending pictures to people. And everyone thought it was hilarious. And he's even laughing. This is disgusting.
Look at the difference. God. Like, what filter does she use? I want that filter. Holy shit. Look at the difference in her on this screen. And then that's what she really looks like. Good Lord. Damn. Damn, she went full Crypt Keeper. Good Lord. Damn. She looks 30 years younger. She looks at least 30 fucking years younger. Oh my God. PJ, get me that filter. Okay. I need that. Okay. I won't be like, share my ugly face anymore. I'll be like, share my beautiful face on all social media platforms. Holy wrinkles, Batman. Good Lord. Now listen, I ain't shaming the lady. She aged by 30 fucking years. Good Lord. That's the 30-year app. Okay. I don't know which one that is, but good Lord. Good Lord. I thought you was like 30 years old. You an old ass lady. Like, you need tennis balls for your walker and shit. Holy damn. What the hell is going? Snapchat does that? Holy Snapchat's Batman. Holy Snapchat. Damn, I need to get on Snapchat. All right. Good Lord. Ain't no way. That shit is crazy. That is absolutely insane. All right. Maybe she got Alzheimer's or something going on with her, right? Like, good Lord. She's friends with Baby Gab and Turtle Boy, is a lawyer. Holy, age 50 years. She looked like she could be my daughter in the video. Looked like she could be my mama in the picture. I mean, good Lord.
Disgusting.
Holy. Don't even look like the same person. Damn. Holy shit. It took all her wrinkles away. She ain't got one. She got her face as smooth as butter there. Okay. Smooth as damn butter. Turtle Boy and Baby Gap aged her by 100 years. Okay. She got the Benjamin Button disease. I don't know what's going on here. Holy shit.
She likes to look at me and smirk.
She asked if somebody could be alive in the snow without a jacket.
She grabbed my hands and she said, Google hypothermia, Google how long it takes to die in the cold.
Hey, Jen, how you doing? Fancy seeing you here.
Sorry, do you have a child on the team?
Do you?
I do, so I'm trying to watch.
No, I'm at a public event, so I can do whatever I want.
People showing up at our house.
You guys are being taken for a food.
That's terrible.
We're being taken for a food. Tell us how.
People emailing my school. Just take a lot of
I come in, Dolly's a total Snapchat. I've never used Snapchat. I didn't know I could be a supermodel on Snap. I'd be looking like Fabio and shit, hair blowing in the wind. You think Snapchat can fix my bald spot? You know, hook me up a little bit, some Justin hair plugs in the front, maybe something going on here. You think the Snapchat do that? Okay. So I need some damn Snapchat in my life.
Harassment.
They killed a police officer, John O'Keefe. We're done with she Googled how long to die in cold.
There's so many lies and misconceptions on social media.
Everyone except Jennifer McCabe.
Find out how long to die in cold and why someone would Google that at 2:27 in the morning.
There is no indication of a Google search at or before 2:27 a.m.
You made that search at 2:27 a.m. because you knew that John O'Keefe was outside in your sister's lawn dying in the cold, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
And why 2 cop killers are up there. Cop.
This is the only show I never miss. If you are the only YouTuber that speaks truth, I love how you make everything fun but serious when it needs to be. We love you and PJ. We need you guys in our lives. Thank you, Veronica. And you know we will be there live, and it's going to get real. It's going to get real quick. Okay, and just hopefully we're not abducted by a cult. All right, if we come back dressed in pink, drinking Kool-Aid, you're in trouble. Okay, you're in trouble. I'm just letting you know.
Killers.
Karen was screaming. My hands were shaking, and she was saying, Google hypothermia. How long does it take to die in the cold?
I'm of no doubt that the only time those 2 searches were conducted was at 6:23 and 6:24.
I do not have 6:23 and 6:24, but the Karen Reed supporters don't want to hear that. They still talk about how long to die in the cold. You just seen the person develop the software, say they were done at 6:40, 6:47. So I'm unsubbing if you come back wearing pink. Okay. Well, you never know. I might take some of that free candy up there. Okay. If it's good, you know, if they got Snickers bars, maybe a Butterfinger, I might come back in pink. Okay.
Have any specific Celebrate certifications?
And that's shown that you were wrong, correct?
That is correct.
So that's just the guy that was wrong that testified that the searches were made at 2:37. He had to come into court and say he was wrong, that it didn't happen like he said it did. All right. So there went their conspiracy of how long to die in the cold, which is what started all this anyway, right? Basically, that's what started it. Now that's thrown out the window. They got molds of the dog's teeth. That's thrown out the window. What else do they got, right, that they can use as a defense? Nothing. They got nothing. And Karen Reed keeps saying incriminating shit against herself. So not good. Not good.
That's not what you said in your affidavit that was actually filed under pains and penalties of perjury with this court, correct?
Yes, and if I've caused you any distress, I apologize.
Credible witness, highly credentialed. That's all you have to listen to. Case over. Free Karen Reed.
I don't remember specifically what I Googled, but I do know what you've put out to the social media.
How about this? Costs long to die in cold. That sound familiar?
Yeah, it's been everywhere.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Because you've put it out in social media.
Costs long to die in cold is what you put in to the Google search, right?
Okay, let's see if this motion hearing started yet.
The mechanisms that were occurring through the brain, what happened inside of the brain that led to the various injuries. So this study doesn't at all,
Poor Rita, yeah.
Any methodology. Number
they
one,
did her dirty.
It doesn't stand at all that this is the methodology for how one determines in a decedent what was the cause, because the cause of the injury was already determined going into the study. And it also doesn't state anything about the paragraph that Dr. Wolf has explicated in his report. And I will conclude with 2 points. Dr. Wolf says, based on the findings of his autopsy, it is clear. Well, the autopsy doesn't come to any conclusion on manner of death. The autopsy doesn't speak to mechanism of injury. So it is a non sequitur, Your Honor, to say that based on the findings of his autopsy, and we know from Dalbert Lanigan, you've got to apply your methodology to the facts and evidence in the case. And the only facts and evidence that Dr. Wolf uses, by his own words, is the autopsy, which doesn't support at all what he is stating in his report. The second and last point, Your Honor, is that it is not sufficient in the case law in Massachusetts. It's not sufficient under 702 for someone simply to come in and say, I'm a neurologist, I therefore know the brain, and then take the leap from that foundation into a conclusion with regard to manner of death. So in sum, Your Honor, he's not a medical examiner. He's not a forensic pathologist. He has not stated any experience whatsoever in doing what he's doing here, meaning to determine the manner of death of a decedent. And his methodology is completely unsupported. We only have one article.
Yes, this is live.
I've gone through why that article is insufficient. So we would request, Your Honor, and urge the court to exclude Dr. Wolf from testifying in matters beyond his kin. And in the alternative, we would request an evidentiary hearing, because we and the defendant has a constitutional right to cross-examination. And this is the same with Mr. Gilman. It's the same with other experts where there is no statement of the methodology, as here, there's none. And there's no tethering to a study. And how is it that one can cross-examine a witness that doesn't even begin to approach the two prongs of the Daubert inquiry?
All right. Thank you.
Get him.
Mr. Brennan.
Come on, let's get him. Hank the Tank.
May I?
Please.
Attorney Lessie mistakenly misstates Dr. Wolf's credentials. Dr. Wolf is not a neurologist, he's a neurosurgeon. He's not simply a neurosurgeon, and it's not that he's a renowned neurosurgeon, but he has over 35 years of experience as a neurosurgeon. In addition to his opinion, you can see that Dr. Wolf has an extraordinary history of experience as a neurosurgeon. His CV is attached.
He sticks to the facts, though.
In his internships as a neurosurgeon, he engages in an internship in pathology.
Yes, this is live.
We can see from his major research interests includes treatment of head injury, spinal cord injury. Dr. Wolf was the leader and director of the Miami Neuroscience Center for 17 years.
She is factually guilty.
2011.
Mo.
The busiest
She
neuroscience center in the country.
She's Mo guilty.
He has treated tens and thousands of patients with head injuries, surgeries. His professional memberships are too long to list. Page 3 of his resume. His research is broad and precise and specific to head injuries. We can see in his research listed on page 4, he's a principal investigator in THAM treatment of brain tissue, acidosis in severely injured patients, principal investigator, PEG, SOD, and severe head injury. Improving outcomes in severe head injury, PEG, SOD, also principal investigator, IRB protocol, brain pathology. He is well published. His book chapters that he listed anyways, list 16, many of them dealing specifically with head injury and brain injury. His book chapters include head injury and difficult medical management, pediatric neurosurgical emergencies, complication of head injuries in adults, imaging of craniocerebral trauma, imaging and trauma and critical care, emergency room assessment of head injury patients, intracranial injuries. He has numerous journal articles, a slew of them specific to head injuries, intracranial pressure, number 2 on his journal articles, initial management of brain and spinal cord injuries, number 9, number 16, which is the document that I produced to counsel last night, listed in his journal articles, number 16, fractures of the clivus, classifications and clinical features. His journal articles are numerous, too numerous to go through, but you can see that he is well published, over 70 articles. His presentations specifically on fractures, basal type injuries, number 5 on page 13. Number 9, neurosurgical management of traumatic brain injury. Number 10, acute head injury. And the list goes on. Over 90 references. Lectures and meetings, many of them dealing with head injuries. Over 100 lectures listed for reference, actually over 130, and a number of web publications. So this neurosurgeon who has this extraordinary experience is qualified.
Sounds qualified to me.
Ability to testify about head injuries and medical diagnosis and cause of death is not.
Yeah, she confesses to being drinking and driving that night, being intoxicated, not remembering everything.
Experience of Dr. Wolf is far superior to any pathologist. The difference is a pathologist treats patients that are already dead. Dr. Wolf treats patients that are in trauma, who some survive and many die. So he is intimately familiar, not just with looking at a deceased in a lab, he's intimately familiar with assessing the injuries after they occur, diagnosing what the injury is, and an attempt to save the person's life. And so he's well attuned after tens of thousands of surgeries to understand the causation of and what causes death.
Oh my God.
Looking at Dr. Wolf's report, although short, it is clear that the injury that was occurred by Mr. O'Keefe was.
PJ, don't be Snapchat filtering me anymore. That is just creepy.
Proposed expert Dr. LaPosada is not in disagreement with that. To understand countercoup, it occurs from a fall backwards on the ground. It can't occur from a bat or a punch or hit. There's not enough force. It occurs when the back of the head hits the ground and then the brain shifts to the front of the head. That is what the autopsy reports show. It may be that the medical examiner for the Commonwealth didn't have the same level of experience and didn't diagnose it, but does have that expertise. And it is no different than the pathologist that's proffered by the defense. The periorbital ecchymosis that is directly related to the basal fracture, the swelling around the eyes, no different than Dr. LaPosada's opinion, exactly the same. One thing he doesn't say is that the body was moved. There was no evidence or information for that. He doesn't extend himself as a detective or put in unplausible theories in his proposed testimony. He is intimately familiar with countercoup, having treated
We all
10,000
dare.
patients,
Don't you dare.
and he understands in countercoup how it can lead to suffocation at the top of the spinal cord. And so his opinion is clearly supported by his extraordinary experience, his writings, his history. It can't be that his ultimate conclusions of countercoup and ecchymosis, periorbital ecchymosis, is in dispute. It seems that the defense simply prefers the original medical examiner for the Commonwealth. But we expect to call Dr. Wolf, and I would suggest that he's more than qualified.
All right, thank you. Mr. Leslie, anything final?
Yes, thank you, Ron. Mr. President. Thank you.
Look at them eyes. Look how crazy she looks.
Your Honor, I'm going to note what Attorney Brennan did not state. He did not address at all how the methodology, to the extent it's discernible of Dr. Wolf, is commonly accepted or it satisfies any of the Daubert factors. And that is the fatal aspect of Dr. Wolf's opinion. It's not stated. You have to have either common acceptance or satisfaction of the 5 non-exhaustive Daubert factors. It wasn't addressed, and I think it's reasonable to conclude that it wasn't addressed because it doesn't exist. That alone dooms Dr. Wolf's opinions. I will stipulate, for purposes of this argument only, the cause of death prong. Let's assume, just for purposes, just to focus on manner of death, let's assume hypothetically that Dr. Wolf is qualified to testify about cause of death.
Lori Vallows, yeah.
Mr. Brennan did not address at all his qualifications to discuss and opine on manner of death. And that is the distinction I emphasize, Your Honor. Manner of death, he has not stated one qualification on manner of death. So the defense urges the court to draw the distinction, to limit his testimony to cause of death, not manner of death, because we know, and we cited the Graham article, which is attached to our motion, which specifies who is qualified to talk about manner of death. Because what does manner of death do? It takes into account all the circumstances surrounding it, the crime investigation. That's what medical examiners and forensic pathologists are qualified to do. Attorney Brennan cited that in his CV, there's a reference to an internship in pathology. I looked, I didn't see it, but let's assume that it exists. Let's assume he has an internship in pathology. That does not qualify him to engage in manner of death 40 years later without any experience from that internship all the way until 2025. Lastly, Attorney Brennan goes through numerous studies, and I appreciate that he did, because the CV is almost endless with meetings, presentations. There's 4 peer-reviewed articles. That's it. 4 peer-reviewed of Dr. Wolf. None of them address or come close to the topic that he's talking about. My last point is this with regard to Dr. Wolf's qualifications and what his practice has been. And Attorney Brennan concedes it by his own words. He said cause of injury. And again, for purposes of this argument only, I will concede cause of injury. But manner of death was not addressed by Attorney Brennan. It's not addressed in any of the qualifications of Dr. Wolf, and it's not addressed in terms of the one paragraph that we have. And for something as significant as this, one paragraph that doesn't address common acceptance, methodology, Daubert factors, Your Honor, I don't know how a record is even begun to be established for him to be qualified or to opine on manner of death. So we would urge Your Honor to find that he is not qualified to testify about manner of death, that mechanism of injury cannot be manner
One of
of
Karen
death,
Reed's lawyers.
and that he be so limited to the extent the court desires and concludes that he has some relevance here. But in terms of all of the record that's presented, including the CV, etc., there's not one instance where we see that Dr. Wolf has even approached determining cause of death or manner of death at all. So I don't see where there's a record to find him being able to do that for the first time in charges of this nature. Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to respond at all, Mr. Brennan?
Let's do it, Hank.
At some point, arguments become semantical and theoretical, but not practical. This doctor has treated thousands and thousands of patients, many, unfortunately, which have died. And as a neurosurgeon, engaging in the operations in the study of the brain and the patients, it is obvious that the neurosurgeon would understand and appreciate
Hit that like
why
if you're
his
just coming
patients are
in.
dying, because that is part of the study of trying to save them. So for him to reduce on a piece of paper that the manner of death is based on my thousands and thousands of patients and my years and decades of experience, seeing firsthand many of these patients I cared for or tried to help died, and this is why. Technically, he could do that if that satisfied Mr. Alisi, but that is so unnecessary because it's obvious. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so we have a series of motions in limine. I'm going to start with defendant's motion to present the demonstrative exhibit on Christina Hanley's testimony. It's paper 558. Is there an objection from the Commonwealth on this?
There is an objection.
All right, so I'll hear the defense on this motion.
Thank you, Your Honor, if I may. This is a relatively straightforward and relatively short.
I have a question. Did you use this last time? It looks like
we attempted to use it. We had it last time. It was shown to the witness, but it was not allowed to be introduced. And all we're asking is for that next step, that it be introduced into evidence.
Did she adopt it? Was there? Okay.
She did indicate, and that's part of my argument, Your Honor, which
So I'll go ahead. I'll hear you.
I'll truncate it. It's a relatively simple request. We just want to use the chalk that was prepared in the first trial. No dissimilarity there. It was disallowed for use by the defense to be actually used, to be admitted, but it was shown to the witness. It was not shown to the jurors. The evidence, as the court will recall.
So let me just have, so you're just trying to use it as a chalk, not an exhibit?
No, we would ask that it be used as a chalk and an exhibit that's introduced. I'll take the chalk if the court wants to break it into two different pillars, but we believe that once the witness, and I anticipate based on her prior testimony that she would adopt it one more time for its authenticity or its accuracy, I should say, that it be used as an actual exhibit that goes back with the jury just for their help. The court will remember it's very complicated.
So let me just, with that, if I allow it as a chalk, is there an objection from the Commonwealth?
There'd be a partial objection to a chalk, some of the labeling. I have less concern of a chalk as I do an exhibit.
I mean, so we can take it in two steps. I certainly don't need to decide now whether it's admissible, and I couldn't. But what's the nature? Is this something?
The court will call this. This deals with.
Thank you,
glass.
Misty.
Christina Hanley spoke at
Now we gotta eat.
About her analysis of pieces of glass, other materials as well, but specifically as it relates to the glass, there were more than a dozen pieces of glass that she testified to. They were variously found in different places at different times by different people, and they're assigned a relatively complicated set of numbers that she utilized in her analysis.
And this is what you explained to me was the 47
Education
pieces
in
of
the
glass
hills of
that I asked
Kentucky.
you about last time.
No,
right?
Lady for
this is
justice.
more attendant
Thank
to
you.
the glass in the bumper.
Okay.
The glass in the bumper, the glass that was found at 34 Fairview, as opposed to the lens material that were the 47 pieces.
Okay.
These were a bunch of pieces of glass that were originally that originated from multiple sources. Some matched each other, some did not match anything else. Some were from the same source, some were from multiple sources and different and distinct between and among each other. We reduced the very complex, the court may remember she talked about 7.14-B matched or didn't match 7.13-C, and it was very numerical and very difficult. It was difficult for me to follow. It was even difficult for the witness to follow because she continually had to resort to her own report as she tried to maintain her accuracy. So
Do you have the day of her testimony?
Oh gosh.
Ms. Little, do you have that transcript pulled up?
Yes, one moment.
So obviously, I remember her testifying. I remember seeing this previously.
I've got it. June 5th, 2024, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, make sure you give this video a like. We got 635 likes and almost 1,000 people in the room. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you give the video a like for me. It helps us in the algorithm. So please hit the like button if you're just tuning in.
That once she studied it, it was in line exactly with her testimony. It's an accurate visual representation of that evidence, and it just makes it a lot easier for the jurors to find some sort of linear logic to the evidence. What matched what and what didn't. And all we're asking is that we'll use the same aid, the exact same aid that we did last time, and just ask that it be used as not only a chalk, as Mr. Brennan said, he may have a slight objection to that, but also
thank you, Lisa.
The next step, which the court doesn't have to decide now. I think waiting on Ms. Hanley's testimony would be apropos, and then we'll ask for its submission at the right time.
All right. What's the objection, Mr. Brennan?
Oh.
This witness has a report, and a report is not admissible and can't be shown to the jury. And so to have the defense summarize her testimony when she's not allowed to put her report in herself seems a bit imbalanced. There are references on this potential chalk that lists troopers' names. Those names shouldn't be on there, but also it doesn't give the full picture of the actual testimony. The issue regarding glass, I expect, is going to be a issue in the next case. And I say that because we learned last night for the first time on a public.
Oh, there's 1.2K likes. Thank you, guys.
That the defendant suggests that Mr. O'Keefe took her vodka soda glass out of her car. Now, that is the first time we've had any statements from Ms. Reed suggesting that. And also, there was another statement regarding a claim that Ms. Reed pulled glass from John O'Keefe's face.
Yeah, she said that last
Never
night
heard
too.
that before. So we have this evolving or new testimony or statement, rather.
I told you they're going to use what she
about
said
glass.
against her.
And so I think first, I'd like to consider this new information that we just learned last night. And secondly, I am reluctant to agree to a simple summary of part of the witness's testimony that has not only labels on it, but does not, from my perspective, clarify anything. I'm not opposed to chalks. I think chalks are helpful for both sides. And I think the liberal use of chalks is helpful. But I don't have confidence this chalk accurately summarizes the witness's testimony. I'm open to discussing chalks with the defense and perhaps learning why they think.
Yeah,
this is
she said it on the
helpful or important,
documentary. She pulled glass
looking at
out of
this chalk, it
space.
does not look clear to me.
And
I
he
do
took
think
her
that
drink.
The evolving nature of glass in this case is going to be an issue. And since I've just learned this information, I want to give it some thought.
All right, so Mr. Jackson, what I'm going to do is just hold off and see where the evidence is, what the two of you talk about. Maybe there's some agreement you can come up with regarding this. I need to hear more of the evidence
I
again.
understand,
And I'm going to read the transcript, so that will help me with
I think
this.
it makes sense. Mr. Brennan indicates that the chalk was not helpful to him. With all due respect to Mr. Brennan, it's not really his understanding of the chalk that is going to sort of seize the day. It's Ms. Hanley. So I do think that if the court would keep an open mind.
Sure.
Ms. Hanley testifies, then that would be the appropriate sign.
So I'll take no action on this, and maybe it's something we can address the day before she testifies or something as it gets closer.
Sure.
But the two of you should talk.
Sure.
I'm open to working with them if there's something they want to explain.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, so no action taken on paper 558. So one
Did
question,
hit
the
by the
next
car?
motion I have is defendant's motion to exclude irrelevant, inadmissible, and prejudicial prior bad character
Yes,
and
meaning
propensity evidence. The Commonwealth has a sort of maybe a similar one that I'm not sure. The Commonwealth.
Okay, so if you didn't see the documentary last night, she said when John O'Keefe got out the car that he grabbed her vodka and soda out the cup holder. And she said when she found John O'Keefe, he had a shard of glass in his face. And when she pulled the shard of glass out of his face, he started squirting blood. Okay, she had never said that before. But apparently in that documentary last night, she pulled a piece of glass out of his face. And I told y'all that stuff she said in that documentary last night was going to be used against her in court, right? Because she says, this is my testimony. And, you know, she's not going to testify when she's on trial. So they ain't going to let her because she's crazy. So that's as close as we get to a testimony as what she said about pulling the glass out of his face.
Eliminate to exclude irrelevant, inadmissible, and prejudicial prior bad character and propensity evidence. It deals with the, let's just say the Aruba witnesses. I don't.
From the cup,
Marietta Sullivan.
he took
Laura
out the car.
Sullivan. Does this, Ms. Giannetti, I think this was one filed by you. Maybe it wasn't. Does this include the children as well?
This does not. This is
Okay.
limited. This argument will be limited to the, we'll call it the Aruba incident.
Okay. All right. So given that, that might not include the Commonwealth's number 11, the quals, bins, the defendant's statement, the victim's state of mind as it goes to the defendant's
The ID
knowledge
channel.
and ability, likelihood to act on that state of mind.
Yes.
Defendant,
So I just want,
I didn't mean to interrupt, Mr. Brennan. Do you want to?
so I just want to know if that is part of the Aruba one.
Yes. John's brother's in the
our,
black shirt.
Statement relating to Mr. O'Keefe's state of mind is broad. It would have included the Aruba, but I can make quick work of this. We
Okay.
do not intend to introduce evidence about the Aruba event.
Okay.
I reserve the right, if the defense opens the door, then we may proceed with it. But in our case in chief, we don't intend to introduce any evidence from the Aruba event.
Okay.
Shortest
There we go.
argument ever.
All right. All right. So Mr. Brennan, you can have a seat again and we'll go through the defendant's one. That's very helpful. So I will endorse it as
Hulu. You can
Commonwealth
watch it
does
on
not intend to
Hulu.
introduce in its case in chief.
It's on the ID channel. Body found in the snow. Karen Reed, a body found in the snow.
If that changes, Mr. Brennan, you need to come to sidebar well in advance, okay? After telling counsel.
Understood. Thank
All
you.
right. All right, so that was 559.
Yeah, if blood's coming out, you're still alive, especially if it's squirting out.
The
That's what I'm
defendant's
saying.
motion to eliminate for review. Is the Commonwealth seeking
Thank
review
you,
as
Penny.
well?
We did not move for review, but we do not object if the defense wants a view.
Okay. So who's going to argue this for the defendant?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, so what's different this time around is you're asking that Ms. Reed be permitted to attend.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'll hear you.
Your Honor, the defense is requesting that it exercise its broad discretionary powers to allow a view under Massachusetts General Law 234A.
So I'll allow a view.
Okay.
Okay, but let's talk about your client attending it.
Yes, Your Honor. There was a request in there for Ms. Reeve to attend. That is something that's allowed under the law.
How do you propose that's done?
If it's possible to have separate arrangements for her to be there, vis-a-vis some other transportation so that they're not all on the same bus, if the court can make that accommodation, we would appreciate it. But the most important thing in this case, Your Honor, is that there be a view of both the vehicle and 34 Fairview Road.
All right, so the Commonwealth's not objecting to a view of the vehicle and 34 Fairview, correct?
I'm not, but I do not think the vehicle should be at 34 Fairview.
Okay, what are you proposing for that?
We could make arrangements and make suggestions, but it's not going to replicate the circumstances of that evening. And so it creates an image that is inaccurate. So I do not think that the vehicle should be sitting in front of that home in totally different lighting conditions, timing conditions. And I think it can be misleading.
All right, I need some suggestions. Why don't we table this for a bit, even if we do this one tomorrow? So one of the concerns I have about just logistically, people have to stay away. When Ms. Reed's in court, there are a lot of people who come to court. So I need some assurances that there will be people kept at quite a distance. A separate car is fine. Would counsel plan on being in the car with her?
That would be fine, Your Honor.
So I need some proposal. So I need more information from both. So Mr. Brennan, I'd like you to come up with a proposal about viewing the car, a separate place or a separate time. It would be ideal if we could do it at the same time, but at a separate place. If that's what we decide, we may have to do it all at once.
I do think it's important, Your Honor, that the vehicle be at the scene just for dimension purposes so that the jury can get a sense of what it would have looked like at the scene. And I think just for convenience purposes, it saves a lot of coordination on the court's part and in terms of juror time by having it all happen in one fell swoop.
Okay. All right. So let's try and figure out some of the particulars. I would like to have Ms. Reed be able to attend. So let's figure out some particulars. All right, so defendant's
I say
motion
don't show the
to
car.
exclude certain
It's
witnesses
not the same
before
condition.
and after testimony. That's 462. And I think we can address the Commonwealth's motion for sequestration that moves to exempt
Thank you.
family members at the same time. So
Forget.
who's arguing?
Me not.
562. Did I say 4? Sorry. 562 and 576. So is
Now we
the-
gotta eat.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm handling the motion to exclude certain witnesses. The court has broad discretionary power to sequester witnesses before, after, and during their testimony under Massachusetts Rule of Criminal Procedure 21. The defense respectfully requests that this court issue an order for sequestration in keeping with what the Commonwealth also requested. But additionally, excluding Brian Higgins and members of the Albert and McCabe families after they testify.
So do you mean after the evidence is closed?
They want them out to court.
I mean, after they've taken the stand.
So after they've taken the stand, but so witnesses are sequestered not to influence any testimony. So once the evidence is closed, just before closing arguments, are you saying they should not be permitted to come into the court for closing arguments?
Yes.
Focus on that part of your motion.
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking that they not be able to attend closing arguments, and this is why. As the court likely recalls, at the first trial, members of the Albert and McCabe families continued to attend court after their testimony. During closing arguments, Colin Albert, Ryan Albert, and Jennifer McCabe were all seated in the jury box with the O'Keefe family. At least one juror who was seated in this case indicated to a reporter at Vanity Fair that she felt intimidated by their presence at closing arguments. Your Honor, a sitting juror reporting
Thank you,
feeling
Jenna B.
intimidated by the presence of third-party culprits towards the close of the case is highly concerning.
Was this a deliberating juror?
I don't know. He or she was anonymous.
Okay.
And Your Honor, that was by design. There is information that the Massachusetts State Police and the District Attorney's Office wanted to have the third-party culprits seated there during closing arguments. And so on that basis, the defense is requesting, in order to protect there from being any sort of undue influence
Can't
or
let Dolly
intimidation,
starve.
or
Gotta
even
eat.
just the potential that a juror might feel that way, as we know at least one did in this case, we're asking that they be sequestered after their testimony and during closing arguments.
What's your position on the Commonwealth's motion to exclude the family members of both the defendant and the victim?
I believe that the sequestration order, yes, we join in that request.
Okay.
The only exception I would note is that experts should be able to obviously watch other expert testimony that deals with their.
All right.
Thank
so
you for becoming a
obviously
member.
Is not something
Joining
that should
up.
be in a motion. Okay. If you've got an agreement that each
Hey,
other's
Lisa,
experts
thank
can
you.
be in the courtroom during the testimony, that's one thing, but it's not obvious that they're permitted. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that that would be excluded from the order that the Commonwealth proposed. Because the way that they wrote it, it says all witnesses. And I'm guessing that, I won't speak for Mr. Brennan, but I'm guessing that they will want their experts to watch our experts and vice versa.
All right. So you all need to talk. All right. And if there's a disagreement, you need to put it in writing. Generally, experts are permitted, but it's not a given. Okay. All right, Mr. Brennan, do you want to weigh in on people being able to? I'm concerned about after the evidence is closed.
I think it's unfortunate.
Right?
that
I agree with that.
Not only a time-honored tradition, but an entitlement for a witness after the evidence is closed to come into the closing and watch the closing. The defense tries to take an opportunity to provide an unsolicited bashing on their targets. They name Higgins, Albert, they invoke those names, they characterize third-party culprit, and they suggest that some anonymous person was uncomfortable. It seems as though the presentation has a deliberate point to promote a cause, but it doesn't have any sense of balance or fairness whatsoever. Witnesses, all witnesses from either side should be able to come into a courtroom after the evidence is closed, the sequestration order has ended, and watch a closing. Grace can be offered in these circumstances sometimes, and that's what I've tried to do in my motion. Ms. Reed has 3 potential family members who are potential witnesses for the government. And certainly I would have a right to try to ask the court or insist that they should be sequestered. But I've specifically asked that they not be sequestered. I think that an accused has a strong need to have family support in the courtroom. It's not in the benefit of the government or the Commonwealth, but it's fair, it's just.
Amen.
It's graceful. And I think that Ms. Reed's family should sit through the court
Yes,
testimony,
no
even if they're
mad.
called as witnesses, as should Mr. O'Keefe's immediate family. The idea that witnesses should not come in after a evidence rests and during a closing, not only does it seem quite unfair, it doesn't seem to have any basis in law, in justness, in courtesy. And so I ask you to deny the idea that these targets of the defense should not be able to attend the closing. But I do ask you to endorse my motion that would allow family members
Thank you, Helena.
to have the benefit to sit through the court proceedings, even if they may or even if they do become witnesses.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could address.
Why does her
some
dad look
additional-
like Mr.
there
Byrne
is
from
some
The
additional
Simpsons?
information. I was hoping we might be able to address sidebar because it is subject to a protective order, but I would like to make a record.
Vincent, thank you so much. Okay. So we're at sidebar, but listen, to try to keep them out to court, once they testify, they're the same as the public. Once their testimony is over, they should be able to sit in the court. Just like in the Leilani Simon case, after Billy Joe testified, she was able to sit in the court, right? I almost sat right beside her. But they should be allowed in the court. They don't want them in the court because it shows that the family stands behind these people, okay? That the family believes them and they don't believe Karen Reed. So if they're guilty, why would the family sit with them? So it makes them look like they're truthful people because they're with the family of John O'Keefe and the family supports them. I think that the judge is going to rule in the favor that they are allowed to stay in the courtroom. They were in it for the first one. They're going to be in it for the second one. And this is just the defense trying to get a leg up, but I don't think it's going to work. The fan hasn't changed. No, it's the same fan. Same fan. So let's jump over to this while we're waiting for this to kick back on. Finish watching what we were watching.
If you say so.
Is there a reason that you don't want to admit to that?
Absolutely not.
It's a simple question, right?
No reason.
So say it. What Google search did you use?
Objection.
Sustained.
No harm, just have a couple questions. Looking for how long to die in cold. I wonder if you had an answer for that.
I did this. Fuck off. Jennifer McCabe shirt. I'm going to wear my Jennifer McCabe shirt for the rest of the trial.
I mean, we know these people. I mean, Jen McCabe has been a family friend of ours. She was friends with my sister. We've known her for over 10 years.
Because that piece of trash up there left him out to die in the snow.
It brings tears to my eyes. It's not right. It's horrible.
I mean, Turtle Boy is the piece of trash, right? That dude is pure T trash. How he sleeps at night, I guess all the alcohol he drinks helps him sleep, okay? I guess that's what helps him sleep at night.
The truth needs to come out.
I got the Hank the Tank shirts for sale, right? You know, somebody left a comment when I said I was going to give away Kool-Aid license. They said, you better have a vendor's license. Hate all you want, but I'm going to be out there with Kool-Aid. Pink Kool-Aid and blue Kool-Aid. I was even offering the pink side some Kool-Aid, but y'all people are just shitty about everything. Y'all cry about everything, okay? Just about everything. What's a cry? Y'all can change the name to the Crybaby Cult. Oh, Lord.
They have no interest in securing the truth. They have aligned with Karen Reed, and that's the end of the story.
He sleeps with a Karen Reed pillow.
Factually innocent.
Factually. Anytime you put factually in front of it, it makes it true, okay? Factually, I am telling the truth right now, guys. Factually, Dolly wouldn't lie to you. Factually, okay? Factually, she is going to be found guilty, and factually, she's going to prison for the next 40 years. Factually.
Karen Reed.
They just want to share her common enemies, which is every single one of the witnesses in this case.
There is no story. There's facts and truth on this side. There's no story. The story that you've created is not the truth.
Did I create? I hit him, or did you?
That's fact.
It's obvious with all the evidence that she didn't do it.
In a state of shock, everyone was running around.
What evidence? What evidence is it that she didn't do it? All right? They all want this evidence that she did it. Where's the evidence she didn't do it? Show me some evidence she didn't do it.
What seems to be forgotten is that my friend was lying there on the ground.
Oh, I don't think anybody's forgotten.
They're aware he was beaten up by Brian Albert.
Or harassing him, saying,
I'm not selling anything out there. I'm giving it away. I'm not coming there to sell things. All right. Did I say I was going to sell shirts? I may have said that, but I don't plan on selling them. I'm going to give them away. Okay. So, you know, and I ain't worried about no peddler's license. I ain't worried about it like that, you know? So I'll take the ticket.
he was at the house when it's not true.
You've never been in a fight?
No.
You know, Colin Albert, who was a 17-year-old kid at the time, his life has been turned upside down and ruined.
Did you say you would beat them up, or did you say, I will fuck you up?
I said I will F you up.
No, you didn't say, I will F you up. What did you actually say?
That I would fuck them up.
oh, I can't wait to see Colin. I'm going to have a lot of questions for Colin. And something tells me he won't be able to control his temper like you did. He can get some. He can get some too. There won't be a dog there to back him up this time. Taking a picture?
Turtle Boy just
Vision, red heart emoji.
Thank you, Nina. Does Turtle Boy think he's gangster? Dude, you about ain't shit. All right. I thought JLR was about to kick off in your ass. Okay. He acts like he's some tough guy. He spent 90 days in solitary. He acts like he's a tough dude. Gangster.
I'm not afraid of your stupid son. Believe me, I could kick the shit out of your stupid son. Oh, Colin, I feel like of the two of us, I'd be a little more worried about jail if I was you, son. I'm just saying, I feel like I'm going to be good. Yeah.
He cried the whole time he was in jail like a little puss. Shut up. You didn't even go to Gen Pop. You sat in there by yourself. Don't be acting like you gangster like you pulled some time.
Are you scared? I thought you were intimidated. You fucking punk ass bitch. Think I'm scared of you?
You indicated you're a bitch, bro.
I've gotten to know the Alberts through all this, and they're all good people.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. That's not a threat.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you are sure, sir.
That Chris Albert literally is a murderer and went to jail for murder. So, I mean, his sons are just following in his footsteps, right?
Son Colin was a football player through high school, was he not?
Yes.
What was his number?
34, I believe.
And was that for 34 Fairview?
I don't think so.
Learned that somebody else did, in fact, commit a very heinous crime. A friend and colleague of Brian Albert's called me on February 2nd.
Very gravelly voice.
I reached out to Aaron Reed.
He said, Dave, you don't know me. I want you to know your client is innocent.
And when I met with them, I didn't know who they were looking at or what, you know what I mean? I didn't really know the focus of it. I didn't know the people involved, whatever. And when they did, I was like, I have to walk away from this. I'm sorry. It's a conflict. If I knew anything firsthand, they would know about it.
And named Brian Albert and his nephew Colin Albert as potential suspects.
How did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
Who?
How did you know Colin Albert was in the house?
I don't even know Colin Albert.
No, but did you tell the attorneys that Colin Albert was in the house when you met with him?
Did I what?
Did you tell the attorneys?
Look, he didn't even know who he was. See, their conspiracy falls slam apart all the time, right? Like they just make up shit and people believe it. Like they see it on the internet and a couple of these YouTube creators say it. So it makes it factually true.
Is that or David Yannetti or whoever when you didn't mention the name?
No, I didn't do it.
I didn't even know Colin Albert.
Okay.
They might have said it.
I didn't know what he knew
Coffee
or
from
didn't know.
PJ.
I didn't know
Rolling on
how
the
he
floor,
knew it.
laughing emoji.
He was coy about that.
No, that's not true. That's not true. When I showed up, when I got to them, they're confused. Dave Yanetti's looking.
Well, I haven't talked to Dave Yannetti because I'm not hearing this from him.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah.
No, that's not true, though. I'll be honest with you. I tell you.
Yeah.
I would. Listen, I got nothing to hide.
There's another member of the Albert family that has a Ford Edge, and that's Colin Albert.
Okay.
See, that's when you talk about order in the court. You can't be at no outburst in the court. Like even in Georgia, the judge told the jury, I don't want to hear you applaud. Keep your opinions to yourself. Sit in my courtroom and be the hell quiet. You have an outburst in my courtroom, your ass is going to jail. Right? Because that's some shit right there. Like, let's cheer for somebody that's accused of murder. Right? Like that's what the family wants to hear is somebody cheering for a cop killer.
He believed that it was Brian Albert who had tuned up John.
Stories made up by, Karen and the defense team, the defense attorneys made up a story.
I don't even know if that happened. I don't know anything like this.
Oh, you don't? Oh. Okay, I thought that was the tip that they investigated.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't even know. I didn't even know the other guy. I don't even know. No.
Her to act in that situation if she hadn't done something.
All right, let's jump back to this.
The first trial, I'll note, was riddled with what we believe to be inadmissible and highly, highly prejudicial testimony from a bunch of witnesses who took the opportunity to describe harassment and distress that they felt from third parties, both on social media and otherwise. No third party, including any blogger, any social media personality, any member of the public, no third party speaks for Ms. Reed. No third party speaks for the defense. No third party acts on behalf of Ms. Reed, is directed by Ms. Reed or the defense, or is under Ms. Reed or the defense's control. None.
You pay them.
There were very obviously vile acts that were described during the course of the first trial in these witnesses' testimony. To the extent that they did occur, they are obviously in no way condoned by the defense, by Ms. Reed, or anybody connected.
She gave him the addresses. Don't lie. Bullshit.
They're in no way connected to Ms. Reed or the defense. And
yes, they are.
That, the witnesses strongly suggested that Ms. Reed and the defense itself were somehow responsible for these.
I just want to shout out how awesome your mods are, Dolly.
Things
Thank you,
that
Helena.
we're describing. In one notable instance, Jennifer McCabe recounted being harassed by a blogger. She didn't name the blogger, but she said, quote, "The defense is very familiar with this person," end quote. That was her trial testimony, and she looked right at the jurors when she said it. The very obvious overture was, you know who this is, Mr. Jackson. I was the one cross-examining her, and you're responsible for it. In some way.
Absolutely, PJ. She admitted to talking to little boy.
The jury that Ms. Reed and the defense were responsible for the acts that she went on to describe in great detail, in which we agreed, if they occurred, are vile, reprehensible, unacceptable. There are clearly, as we all know now, there are clearly people out there who are very deeply concerned about what they consider, the others consider an unjust prosecution of an innocent person for a crime that she did not commit. There is an enormous amount of emotion injected throughout the community, this community and beyond, and we don't control that. And if people have suffered as a result of that, Ms. Reed very specifically should not be the one to have to bear that burden. And
she's trash, Melanie Little.
Those individuals out there who are emotional about the case, who are a proponent of one side or the other, they speak for themselves, they act for themselves, they act on their own accord. They certainly don't act at the direction of the defense or of Ms. Reed. And to allow these sort of what ultimately can only be described as salacious anecdotes into evidence, coupled with the sobbing and the crying and the breaking down on the witness stand, which also happened, it serves to visit an extreme and an extraordinary prejudice against Ms. Reed, very, very specifically and very targeted like a laser on her. And it's for conduct that's completely out of her control and completely unassociated with her. What may be most galling about the Commonwealth's presentation of this evidence in the first trial of witness intimidation was that they were in possession. They actually knew. Mr. Lally, Ms. McLaughlin, they knew at the time the information was presented and propounded in front of the jury that a grand jury had been impaneled to hear evidence on whether or not Ms. Reed was in any way liable for witness intimidation, witness harassment, or anything associated with that.
So the grand jury has a particular standard, right? Not any way, right? Probable cause standard, right? Okay.
But notwithstanding that standard, the question was she in any way liable for that harassment and intimidation? And that standard is extremely low. We all know the ham sandwich anecdote. And even the grand jury said, no, there is absolutely nothing to see here. There is no evidence that she was responsible for intimidation or harassment such that they determined that there was a no bill. And what is bothersome is that the Commonwealth was aware of that. and didn't disclose it. We didn't find out about that until in October. I think it was an October notice of discovery when we finally found out that a no bill was issued indicating that Miss Reed.
Thank you, Cable.
When was that no bill issue?
You said when or where?
When?
When? I want to say March 23rd, March 27th is what I'm being told. It was late March, before the first trial. And they knew this, and they didn't provide what I believed, and I think what the court would have ruled would be exculpatory information to us to cross-examine these witnesses who say, hey, look, I've suffered at the hands of the community, of these bloggers.
So my memory is I kept it out, and then I have a very clear memory of you opening the door with Jennifer McCabe, and it came in through there.
So the court did make that ruling that ultimately, if the door is open, these witnesses are going to be able to talk about it.
But I kept it out prior to that.
Understood.
Okay.
I don't want to revisit that issue. The court made its ruling. I didn't think that we had opened the door. It was whatever that door was. It was on some very, very significant lubricant. It was going to be opened very easily.
Read the transcript.
I have several times. In any event, I believe that the court should make the exact same order this time and have a more defined, we should have a more defined understanding of what would reasonably open that door. I didn't think that I came anywhere close to it. The court disagreed and the information came in. But it's so prejudicial. It was so extremely prejudicial as to Miss Reed that I think we need to revisit that issue and get a more clarifying order about exactly what would be required to open that door. And then we can reasonably, as the defense, we can reasonably sidestep that as best we can. I wasn't able to do that in the first trial because I didn't think that I had even approached the line, but ultimately
it was factually lubricated.
In this instance, we get a clarifying order that it is not admissible. Obviously, if we walk in and say something about witness intimidation, you've never been intimidated by anybody, have you? Obviously, that would open the door. That's not what would happen. That's not what happened last time. What happened last time was Jennifer McCabe basically decided that she wanted to talk about that issue and sort of walk.
She's free at the moment,
in my view,
Jamie.
Having reviewed the transcript. In any event, I think the court understands what our concern is with regard to this subject matter. We don't want a free-for-all of people, one person after another walking into court and basically lambasting the defense for all intents and purposes about things that are completely out of our control. Even if there is some suffering by the public or by bloggers or by whomever that these witnesses have had to undergo, that is not at the hands of the defense, and we shouldn't have to, Ms. Reed very specifically, should not have to suffer through that testimony when it looks very, very clear that at least the Commonwealth wants the jurors to believe this is all at the hands of Ms. Reed, that she's been.
Thank you, Helena.
Or the defense has, which is just not true.
You're the best.
We ask for a clarifying order on that issue very specifically.
Mr. Brennan.
You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support.
I can appreciate the defense wanting to identify the line in which they would open the door to evidence about harassment and abuse of witnesses. I understand why that would be important. But to convert that into a speech that absolutely defies reality and grossly misstates the history and facts of this case is beyond me. It wasn't just last night when Attorney Jackson and his colleagues appeared on a documentary.
Here we go.
Ms. Reed
said she gave information to her boy.
Speaking frequently to Mr. Carney.
See, I
sharing
know
anything public with him. And you would have to choose to be oblivious to think that information that is shared was then not generated to intimidate and harass witnesses for 2 years. In fact, Mr. Carney has over a dozen indictments for just that.
Take
You've
the
had an opportunity to hear the conversations recorded with Gretchen Voss. You've heard about the tactics used by the defense in the dissemination, not just of public information. So to try to make a public record that is so grossly, not only inept, but fraudulent, I don't understand the purpose of that when the simple question is, what is the threshold of opening a door? We have a motion later this afternoon in another courtroom on this very issue. And I'm not going to go through an entire resuscitation of the evidence or information that I have, because that inevitably
First
would be
prosecutor
unfair.
sucked. Hank the Tank's the
But it is
man.
unfair to stand up here at this podium and suggest for a second that Ms. McCabe is using a witness box as some type of forum.
Thank you, Karen.
She didn't drag herself into this case. She was dragged into it. And to suggest they can stand here and bash witnesses in the text of their argument, unsolicited attacks, because it pleases them and fits their narrative, is something I can't just sit by and listen to. The Commonwealth, the prosecutors weren't outside patting their bloggers on the butt for a job well done after witnesses were harassed at the family events.
Patting them on the butt. Playing ass
And
grab.
so if the issue is, what is the threshold when Mr. Jackson opened the door? Well, you can read the transcript. It's very obvious. Open-ended questions, personal attacks, baseless accusations. That opens the door. And it will open the door again, I suspect. And we'll be prepared.
And they'll be prepared.
I think the issue is really a trial issue, and an attorney
Donna, almost a
having
year,
control of their
12 months,
questions
10
so they don't
months.
open the door. That really is the issue.
So do you agree it doesn't come in the
Margaret,
Commonwealth's case
13
in chief with
months.
these
We
witnesses?
love you guys too.
I don't think it ever should have come in the case in chief, and I don't think it would have until I saw the very clear questions that opened that door. I have no intention of raising a collateral issue or trying to present prior bad acts that I haven't sought admissibility for. So I agree. I agree.
Okay.
Tank killed it once again.
Your Honor, if I may very briefly.
Sure, just give me 1 second. I want to take one note, okay?
Of course.
All right, go ahead.
Look at that look
I
on her
just
face.
wonder
Look at it.
if where this ire and these invectives from Mr. Brennan come from. He said that I stood up here just a second ago and attacked witnesses and bashed witnesses and made fraudulent statements.
Factually
Was he
fraudulent.
listening? I didn't bash a witness. I didn't attack a witness. I didn't make any fraudulent statements. The Commonwealth made their best effort to tether Miss Reed to Aiden Kearney.
26 months. Thank you.
And they did it through a grand jury.
She was sending them
And those
messages.
members of the
She
grand
said it
jury
last
said,
night.
No, it's not true. It didn't happen. That's what they said. At the lowest burden known in criminal justice. So Mr. Brennan can stand up all he wants and say, I saw a TV show and I saw this and I heard an interview, and clearly there's been communication between Ms. Reed and Mr. Kearney. Sure, there may have been communication. That's very different from directing witness intimidation, directing witness harassment for the purposes of undermining a prosecution. That's what they've accused her of. And
That's
they
what she's
failed.
doing.
And then they kept that from us when they failed and allowed this sort of fabrication of the witness. And I'm not saying that the intimidation that was described on the witness stand was fabricated. That's not at all what I'm saying. Maybe it was true. Maybe it all happened. What was fabricated is that it was connected to Ms. Reed or connected to us. So nobody's up here, Your Honor, and I take issue with Mr. Brennan's tone and tenor. We can all be professional. We can all advocate very zealously and robustly, but let's keep it professional. I didn't stand up here and attack a witness, or what did he say, bash witnesses, use this as an opportunity to bash people. We could calm the drama down just a little bit and probably get a little further. All we're asking is that it not come in, and I will stipulate and agree with Mr. Brennan that this not come in the Commonwealth's case in chief, and we will be very mindful of what would conceivably open a door to this kind of testimony. And I'll probably seek.
Pete Stevens, thank you.
Before I ask a specific question that I think comes anywhere close to that, we'll ask the court's guidance by coming to sidebar. And I think that could resolve the issue.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to look at this a little more closely.
They harassing people. She was giving Turtle Boy communications with Turtle Boy every night, telling them where people live, stuff like that.
All right,
She
the
was
next
helping
one
harass
is
them
paper
witnesses.
571, and the Commonwealth's corresponding is your number 12, our paper 586. So the defendant's moving to exclude the serum plasma.
Thank you, Madonna.
Ethanol concentration, blood ethanol concentration conversion, and corresponding retrograde extrapolation analysis.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Who's arguing this for the defense? Because I'm going to ask you whether you want to argue your opposition to it or have the Commonwealth make their argument for admission of it. Who's arguing it for the defense?
Your Honor, I am. And to answer your question, the defense preference would be for the Commonwealth to go first, and we would respond, including with regard to the motion.
Okay. So, Mr. Brennan, our paper 386, your number 12.
Yeah, he's sweating. He's sweating just for men.
Your Honor, paper number 12 seeks to admit the results of the defendant's blood draw at the Good Samaritan Hospital and the resulting serum conversion and retrograde extrapolation. This being a OUI manslaughter and murder case, the statutes that the defense cites don't apply. This is not a simple OUI case. We expect that we will have a witness from the hospital describing the protocol. We will have a witness from the hospital to testify about the blood draw, and we will have an independent, or we'll have an expert to talk about the blood serum conversion. These medical records are admissible. We've cited Chapter 233, Section 79 as a business record. I know the defense takes issue with that. However, these records are
they will. They're going to get her this time.
Commonwealth vs. Hallinan, 491 Mass, 730, page 736, note 9. Blood alcohol serum conversion and retrograde extrapolation is admissible. While the standards may be different.
Sarah, Hank the Tank's in here kicking ass, taking names.
Agencies, hospitals.
Hey, Susan, thank you for becoming a member.
Standards that comply, that are trustworthy, and this evidence should come in pursuant to those cases in that statute.
All right. Now I'll hear you, Mr. Alessi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Attorney Brennan misstates our position that is clearly set forth in our papers. We are not citing to statutes that discuss consent of Ms. Reed. So I just want to take that because he's conflated issues and not addressed the main issue. Attorney Brennan just said that the results are reliable. And I appreciate very much that he has raised that, because not only is there no proof that the results are reliable, there's proofs in the first trial admissions as by Mr. Roberts, as well as impliedly by Ms. Knowles, that they're not reliable. And here's why. There is no record evidence as to the method of the hospital determining those levels. Specifically, with regard to the
Thank
medical
you, Chicken
records in the
Papa.
chemistry section of those, it says,
Keep
in
that
an
sun
annotation,
shining.
the drug testing. This report is intended for use in clinical monitoring and management of patients. And here's the key statement. It is not intended for use in employment-related drug testing or court-related proceedings. And the issue with regard to the reliability of the testing is it is not stated the basics to go to reliability. Specifically, there's no documentation of how the alcohol test result was obtained, through what procedure, by whom, and the key, what manner of testing. There's two ways to do it: gas chromatography and enzymatic testing. And there's a huge difference in the reliability between the two. There is no record evidence, and it's the Commonwealth's burden of proof to establish reliability.
Yeah, she's guilty.
There's no evidence of any of those foundational aspects with regard to the testing. So with regard to those test results, the Commonwealth has to establish the reliability. It is not enough for the attorney for the Commonwealth to simply to stand up in Ipsy Dixit in saying they're reliable when there is a lack of the information, of the factors I just rehearsed with regard to the matter. And another key aspect, which is conceded by the Commonwealth, they concede that the testing did not occur at an accredited laboratory. They concede it. And it's in every single report of the Commonwealth. And we put that
1.5K.
in
Thank you, guys.
Exhibit A to our motion. For example, it's Exhibit A, the very first page, COM 000994, serum plasma conversion report. It states, 2 paragraphs under the chart, with an asterisk, the ethanol result used in this serum plasma conversion report was provided by an external party. The testing to obtain the ethanol result was not performed at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory, and therefore this report does not fall under the laboratory scope of accreditation. Not the words of the defense.
So that's from the State Police Crime Lab, right?
Pardon me?
That's from the State Police Crime Lab, right?
That's correct. And with regard to the next document.
She was drunk. She admitted it on the documentary last night. She was drinking and driving. She was intoxicated. She felt buzzed.
In terms of,
I don't remember
changing that conclusion in that
Coffee
statement.
and
There
Dolly
is
makes
nothing
for a
in
great
there
morning.
to
Thank
remedy
you.
that statement. Exhibit C.
Ever Love Me, 77. Awesome.
Also mentions
Now I gotta
this is
eat.
NDAO 296 under background. It's the same statement. The ethanol result used in this retrograde extrapolation report was provided by an external party. The testing to obtain the ethanol result was not performed at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
We've almost reached
So
my
what we
goal.
have
We're 6
with
away from the
regard
goal.
To the foundation of reliability, we don't know what type of test result this third party did, gas chromatography or enzymatic, and we don't know any of the other factors. And it's the burden of the Commonwealth to establish the reliability of that testing. So in conclusion, Your Honor, given that the Commonwealth has not satisfied its burden in this regard, the testing that has been performed is not reliable.
All right.
It should be excluded.
Okay. Do you want to respond, Mr. Brennan?
I would suggest the court look to Dr. Fowler's testimony. He testified how blood was taken, how it was preserved, what tests were conducted in the lab at Good Samaritan Hospital, how the lab is accredited. And this is the same issue argued at the first trial, but inevitably Dr. Fowler's testimony is what establishes the foundation for the admissibility.
Okay.
May I just respond briefly?
Sure.
Thank you, Hunter. Your Honor has
Thank you,
often
Cool
said
Whip.
that
$2
this is a
train.
retrial. The Commonwealth for this trial has to establish that foundation. They can't point to the testimony in another trial to establish it. That should have been in their motion in opposition, that they should have put that in, assuming that that is accurate. But it is
Motion
not in
hearing.
their motion here, and that cannot be relied upon to defend the lack of reliability with regard to those factors. And I will also note that none of the witnesses I just rehearsed, Mr. Roberts nor Ms. Knowles, if we're going to talk about the first trial, ever referenced that as curative of what they said for lack of accreditation. And if we're again going to go back to testimony of the first trial, Mr. Roberts on cross-examination clearly expressed concerns with regard to these foundational absences with regard to testing. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have time for one last motion before we take the morning recess. Paper number 574, defendant's motion eliminate to exclude witnesses' prior criminal history.
We'll start a new one. New
Who's
goal.
arguing that for the defense? Is there no objection to this? This is regarding Richard Green.
It doesn't qualify pursuant to the statute.
All right, that was my question to you. How do you expect to get it in?
I don't.
Okay. All right, so this motion is allowed.
Thank you, One-Eyed Flo.
That's 574 is allowed, Mr. Clerk.
$2 drive. It's still alive. One-Eyed Flo.
All right, so what I'll do is
GM,
I'll see
I'm
counsel
still
at
waiting
sidebar
on my
regarding
wrench. Wrench
scheduling.
emoji. Winking face emoji.
Boy, Mom, you don't have a wrench? What is beeping? I think it is the stream beeping. All right, let's mute that so we can do away with a little bit of that beeping for a little bit. And while we're waiting on that, let's go back to just some more incriminating shit on Karen Reed.
More sad. I didn't see any actual tears, but
You just feel so bad. You don't want to see them go through it again.
Constant phone calls.
Seriously, what do you want with me?
I mean, we couldn't leave the house without people taking pictures of us.
Look who it is. Look who's here. Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick of this shit.
Awful messages.
Showing up to our doorsteps, our sports games.
Chloe was also at the house when you arrived home on January 29th, right?
Yes. Look at the dog. Leave Chloe alone.
Yep, about 70 pounds.
Of course, this doesn't look like a road rash. It's not a road rash that any of us have ever seen. Or does it look more like claw marks and bite marks from an animal? Which is exactly what they are.
Say that she's good with strangers?
I'd say she's fine with strangers.
Fine with strangers. Okay.
Yeah.
If I enlarge that, it kind of looks like a paw print bruise to me. I mean,
I cannot get over this lady and the filters she uses because she looks so young in these things. And then when you actually see her, she looks like she's 40 years older. Oh my God. Them Snapchat filters ain't no joke, man. I mean, they just ain't no joke. Now, the dude, he looks just like that in person. He ain't using no filters. The Body Bags podcast guy, I met him. He looks just like that in person. But this lady, them filters, oh my God. Like she has not one wrinkle on her face. Right. And then when you see a real picture of her, she looks like she's 40 years older.
tell me if I'm crazy, and I don't know if it's possible to bruise post-mortem.
No, it's not.
And it's undoubtedly that those are clearly.
Woman, he wasn't dead. He died at the hospital. Okay. And even when Karen Reed said she pulled the glass out his face, he squirted blood. That means to squirt blood, you done hit an artery and your heart is still beating. That means you're not dead. Okay. What kind of lawyer is she? Has she ever won a case? Oh my God.
Clearly lacerations, not abrasions. We all know what an abrasion looks like. It's insulting to us to suggest that those.
The man had a piece of glass stuck in his face, dumbass. You heard your girl say it last night. I need a filter. No, I need Botox. I mean, she looked like she had she used a Botox filter. I don't know. Good Lord.
Those are abrasions.
Would you describe the injuries to Officer O'Keefe's right forearm as lacerations or abrasions?
Those are abrasions.
That they are the result.
She's a silver lawyer, Dolly. I better be quiet then. She might sue me. Okay. She'd be like, he talked bad about my filters. Let me give my warnings. Dolly's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Callers' opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not reflect on the Dolly. Everyone is innocent and proven guilty, even Karen Reed. And the biggest one of them all, and I mean the biggest one, don't never be Turtle Boy. He is a shit bag, okay? Never be Turtle Boy. And never be Dolly at home. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Your head can explode, all right?
Of animal bites or scratches.
And do you know what kind of animal?
Oh, yes, most likely dog, large dog. And
this lady is the dumbest witness ever. Hank the Tank destroyed her. I can't wait till she gets back on the stand. Oh my God, she got destroyed.
I'm very reasonable.
She got destroyed worse than I destroyed Baby Gap. Okay. She got destroyed. I thought I was good at destroying people. Hank the Tank effed her up. Okay. He made her look like a dumbass.
Sure to, what's the word I want? Medical certainty. Very
all right. So
high degree of medical certainty.
Reasonable degree of medical certainty.
Yes, definitely. There were also some puncture wounds in that shirt.
So I'm sorry, puncture wounds in the shirt?
Puncture holes.
Okay.
Wounds. The shirt's wounded. Shirt down. Shirt down.
The shirt.
Did you ask for anything else to review?
No.
Do you have notes with you as to what you reviewed?
No.
Okay, so when you say there might be other, you don't.
Well, if
he tells you what you reviewed, you'd know it.
At any point in time, did you ever look at anything related to Mr. O'Keefe's head injury?
Oh yes.
You reviewed reports in relation to that, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any opinions as it pertains to that?
I would rather defer to the pathologist and neuropathologist on that. Oh, well,
And I don't mean to belittle this training whatsoever, but is it fair to say that that was relatively rudimentary training that you received in the academy?
probably. I would not, yes, okay, probably. If
You don't have any training in crash reconstruction or anything like that, correct?
that is correct.
So you're not board certified in forensic pathology or anatomical pathology or any kind of pathology?
That's correct.
The last time that you worked as a coroner, when was that?
Last time was in 1995.
What, about 30 years ago? Is that about right?
For autopsy, yes. And there were two techniques used at that time: bite and hold, and later on bark and hold, or bark and alert, or something of that nature.
Bark and alert. That's what happened. This lady was a clown. Okay, where they got this expert at? She called and volunteered her services to Alan Jackson. He should have hung up the fucking phone.
I asked you that the other day, though, and I was told that you reached out to her through an intermediary. I wasn't told she reached out to you through an intermediary.
I don't know that there's a difference. I mean,
What I was trying to get at is this somebody who read about this case and said, I want to be part of that. That's what I was trying to get at. I think it was pretty clear, Mr. Jackson. Go ahead, continue with your argument.
Jackson hit this dumbass lady up, right? So he hit her up. He be lying so much. This dude, I mean, how can he just get up in court and lie? I thought it was against the law to lie in court.
okay, I did not misrepresent anything to the court.
I didn't say that.
I take offense at the court's tone. Yes, you did say that. You just said that. You said, not what I said the other day.
There was absolutely no canine DNA.
There's no evidence. There's absolutely no evidence to support the false narrative that they spread across the internet.
So in addition to the gaggle of paramedics that are covering up for Brian Albert and lying about Karen Reed saying I hit him, even though she went on TV and said that she asked, did I hit him? They're all lying. And there's a mad dog involved, a dog that has no DNA. And
a DNA-less dog, okay? They're out there, okay? Dog DNA. No dog DNA on him, but allegedly it's a dog bite, okay? He has glass shards in his face.
a 17-year-old teenager that's never been in a fight. But you also have to believe that all the pieces of the taillight were planted, and that her taillight was broken when she was backing up going like 1 to 2 miles per hour, even though her own expert says that would not have broken the taillight. Now the cult loves Officer Barrows because Officer Barrows said the taillight appeared cracked.
It was cracked.
And well, that confirms it. It was only cracked, right? The problem is he also says there was a piece missing.
And a piece was missing?
It was caked with snow.
I guess you could say caked on, correct.
And there was a dent on the tailgate.
And beyond the taillight area of that vehicle, what, if anything else, did you observe as far as damage to the rear passenger side area?
Like a dent.
They ignore all those other parts, though, and just say, he said it was cracked, so it was just cracked. There was no pieces missing, but he said there was a piece missing. Not only that, but we have our own eyeballs, and we have the 5 a.m. video of her driving away from John O'Keefe's house, and there's clearly part of her taillight, one of the lights is out. Now, if you're to believe that she cracked the taillight backing up into John O'Keefe's car, you also have to believe that she hit it, not on the edge of the taillight, but in the center of the taillight, hard enough to put the taillight out. These are both SUVs with bumpers at the same height, mind you. And you also have to believe that, that big chunk of taillight that's missing, you didn't see it fall onto the ground. You didn't see it fall into the white snow. And since this is a ring cam, we even have footage of the next morning when they are shoveling the driveway, and there are no pieces of taillight. Wakey, wakey. Furthermore, there was a welfare check at 8 a.m. to check on John O'Keefe's kids, and the officer pulls behind Karen Reed's car, not aware that the car is potentially the murder weapon. And we see on that video, there are no red pieces on the right side of her car. So are we supposed to believe that Trooper Proctor took a time machine and went back and took the pieces of the red taillight out of Karen Reed's vehicle and then somehow planted them underneath the snow, even though he was still on video in the Sally Port at the time that they were finding those pieces. I mean,
I know. That's the same thing I said. You know, they believe that they went into the hospital and sprinkled fucking taillight pieces on them. That's how silly these people are with this conspiracy that they got going on. You know, factually, all drunked up, just alcoholics. And like, I wouldn't even call these people bloggers. I call them fucking idiots. Okay. I think you give bloggers a bad name. And a blogger is somebody that talks about their day, right? They blog, they tell you about their day and what they did and what they ate. And that's a blogger, right? Are any of them fucking dudes bloggers? I look at him like he's a shitbag that has a YouTube channel. Okay. Can we call them shitbaggers? Because that's what I think they are, right? A blogger is somebody that like van life. You know, I'm traveling here. I'm cooking this. This is what we did. This is the event we went to. That is a blogger. These are shitbags. Okay. They're shitbaggers.
so is the argument that the microscopic pieces of taillight that were found in John O'Keefe's sleeve, those were planted too?
Cop killers, ladies and gentlemen. That's a cop killer right there.
No, this harassment of witnesses started back in April, and that Karen Reed was conspiring with Turtle Boy, sending pictures of the witnesses to Turtle Boy, sending pictures of the witnesses' children to Turtle Boy, to harass people, to villainize people in this case.
Stop talking about the O'Keefes in a negative way. Pray for them. Support them. Do what you can for the O'Keefe family. They don't deserve this.
Fuck is wrong with Peggy O'Keefe? Oh, she's fucking old. You're being mean to the mother. Well, fuck her too. Okay.
How can you say that about the mother of a fallen officer? And they support that. They completely get behind that, right? And these are like nice women. Like when you meet them, they're pleasant, right? They're pleasant people. But they overlook all this stuff. Like, I really don't have a problem with Karen Reed supporters. They're brainwashed, but they're really good, decent people. I don't know how they got brainwashed into believing this stuff, right? Because when you talk to them, they all seem nice. They all seem sweet, right? And I know they're doing it because they believe it and they feel like they're doing a good thing. But how did they get so brainwashed? Like, damn.
We've seen messages where she's saying, fuck Paul O'Keefe. I don't care about that guy. She's calling Carrie a cunt. She's talking about some other girl being a fat ass. Karen Reed is a terrible person.
Amen, brother. I agree. And she's talking to another terrible person in Turtle Boy, which, you know, and you got the drunk baby gap. Look at the people that support her, right? It's mind blowing. Suzanne.
Hey, Dolly. Love your honesty and the fact you speak the truth and don't care what others think. Thumbs up emoji. I had to join and support you. Heart hands emoji.
Thank you, Susan. I don't really care what other people think. I don't jump on the popularity train. That's why I ain't got no YouTube friends. Nobody likes me up here. There's a YouTuber up here like me, right? Yeah, because I speak my mind. Like, you know, the popular thing was, if you want to get clicks and views and super chats, free Karen Reed, free Karen Reed. And I'd have thousands coming in, right? But what, you know, then I become a shitbagger like them dudes, right? Like, I get by just fine. My light bill's paid. I don't have to sell my soul to a wretched ass woman. Okay. I don't. And some of these people that are doing it, but it shows you their character. And listen, these people, we knew they were dirtbags before the Karen Reed stuff. Well, some of them I did. I knew they were dirtbags even back in the Summer Wells days. And just some of the stuff they'll do for clicking a view is disgusting. And they're the same people that'll sit out here and scream that you're a bad person while they're doing terrible things. All right. So, but thank you for being here with us and thank you for joining up. It's awesome to have you. Okay. Now I know my opinions don't align with everybody, and even some of my viewers think Karen Reed's innocent. I ain't mad at you. I just think that, you know, you got to open your mind and look at the facts and look at like what she said last night. Okay. Every time she opens her mouth, it's worse and worse. You know, we had that drunk come up here. How do you know she was drinking, Dolly? How do you know she didn't order them drinks for somebody else? Well, last night she said she was drinking the drinks and she was intoxicated and everybody was drinking and driving and she didn't remember everything. Could I hit him? Did I hit him? And she also added that she pulled a piece of glass out his face. You know, she's adding to her story every time she tells it. And here's the thing. You give some people enough rope, they'll hang themselves. Okay. And that's what she's doing. Right? That's what she's doing. She is absolutely hanging herself. And that's what she gets. And these people that sit out there and boo the mother of John O'Keefe and say she's an old bitch and stuff like that, shame on you. What if somebody was talking about your mother like that?
Justice for John O'Keefe. Blue heart emoji, blue heart emoji, blue heart emoji.
Amen, Rose. Amen to that. And there's going to be justice for John
I
O'Keefe.
can't forget PJ. Heart hands emoji. Love her too. Thumbs
Awesome.
up emoji.
Yeah, PJ is cool. She's pretty cool. Not as cool as me, okay, but she's pretty cool. She's a good number 2. I'm playing. She's awesome. Even more awesome than me. Yeah, there's going to be justice for John O'Keefe, guys. We just got to hold that good always wins in this world, okay? Right now, it seemed like the bad was winning for a little bit, but the tide is changing. Support is changing. She showed a lot of her true colors, and she effed over a lot of her good supporters have left her camp, you know, and I think this time around, we're going to get a different verdict. And I think we're going to see some sad people, and they will never accept the fact that she's guilty. Even if they find her guilty, they're going to start stealing her money, trying to, you know, well, she'll get out on appeal. So they'll be fighting for her appeal next. You know, I already know this. I know what's coming. Like, you know, I'm psychic. Okay. Yeah, I'm psychic as shit. I don't know how. I'll never tell people I'm psychic, but I'm psychic. Okay. I'm going to predict the future for you. She's going to jail. All right. She's going to jail. And of course, they're going to put out an appeal. All these documentaries have come through. There'll be people trying to get her out of prison. It'll be a whole nother. Look, they locked Joe Exotic up. If Karen Reed gets off and they keep Joe Exotic locked up, there is no justice in this world. Okay. I will stop believing completely in the justice system. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of faith in it now, but I will completely stop.
Karen Reed is the villain. Not only is she refusing to take responsibility, but she is attacking all of the witnesses. All these people were her friends at one point. And this is what she does? No remorse whatsoever for what she did? Her and Turtle Boy had 189 phone calls, 40 hours of talk time. What do you think they were talking about? How to harass Jen McCabe? What teams her daughter plays on?
They take pictures of our children. They took a picture of my daughter and put semen on it and said property of a so.
Yes, they're using the documentary already today in court. Yes, they're going to use that documentary as evidence. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So they're going to show her lying. They're going to show her saying she never backed up. Then they're going to show the documentary where she said she backed up. She may have clipped them. They're going to show the fact that she was drinking, that she don't remember everything. They're going to show the fact that even used it today, that she pulled the glass out of his face. And her communications with Turtle Boy. She's done.
Some named blogger that I think the defense is very familiar with.
Every single thing that they've been telling us for a year has turned out to be a lie. Rick Green from St. Pete pretty much turned into a puddle on the stand because he couldn't back up any of his claims. He's not even certified in Celebrate.
Pieces and parts were being broken off and shattered while he was removing it?
Not at all. They'll blame Alan Jackson, but mostly me. and Karen. They'll blame us for creating this fake thing.
Fighting back
It's
against
fake.
corrupted institutions. If we lose faith in our institutions, this country is not what it was built on.
You put up a story that you are being framed, and all of it has been debunked. When you do that, I believe that you're a narcissist, and that's why the interviews don't shock me.
It's not the Karen Reed show. So I just want people to remember the actual victim.
Tried to save his life.
There you go. The actual victim is John O'Keefe.
I tried to save his life at 6 a.m. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
And then Carrie and I take turns between mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and chest compression.
I was the only one trying to save his life.
And then Carrie and I take turns.
You know goddamn well that woman did not kill John O'Keefe. You know that there are bloodthirsty killers in your town. Colin Albert and Brian Albert killed John O'Keefe.
And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
How dedicated these people are to the lie.
She's going to spend the rest of her life smugly claiming that she stood up to the system.
She wakes up.
Yeah, this lady needs to go to prison. That's the only thing I can say about it.
Every day and focusing not only on her freedom, but in exposing this corrupt institution.
It is a simple, uninteresting story. And it doesn't get clicks, it doesn't get views, it doesn't get ratings. The conspiracy, this false narrative of a cover-up, that's what gets attention.
In this case, firsthand, I've never seen anything like this, where witnesses have to fear walking out of their car. It's repugnant. It undermines the fabric of the judicial system.
At best, they're going to be the people that got away with murder. At best. So that's their future.
I am a witness. That's all I am. I am not on trial.
When the police served her the search warrant to seize her phone, she locked them out of the house and factory reset the phones.
They're going to look at them funny and just for the rest of their lives.
There was a rolling rally outside of my house where people just screamed at us.
And in those text messages, they found that she was talking to Josh Levy, who was saying, can you delay the trial? Our investigation's still ongoing. And we know from the dates of the ARCA experts that prior to February 15th, her original trial date was March 15th. So prior to February 15th, the investigation had turned up nothing. They already had the grand jury a year before. Nothing. Everything corroborated the investigation. They just got additional text messages which shed no light on any conspiracy or cover-up. And then they utilized those text messages to disparage the witnesses in this trial, to discredit them. And Josh Levy facilitated that. Josh Levy called in the ARCA experts, gave them partial information, and had them whip together a theory that would create reasonable doubt. Now, Dr. Wolf is an expert in vehicle control records.
So I have a number of papers in the field of lighting and optics. I have a recent publication that deals with Toyota and Lexus vehicle control history records as well.
For Toyota, he literally just published a paper on it.
At any point in time, when you've shown any text stream data, Toyota text stream data from the defendant's vehicle?
No.
So why didn't he evaluate the text stream data? That's a little weird. Instead, he shot a glass at the taillight to see if it would break, and it broke at 37 miles per hour. So is that the theory now? That the taillight was broken by a glass? Karen Reed's army of nitwits are screaming about science, but is that the science then? It was broken by him throwing the glass at her car, and the glass boomerang back next to his body, and somehow those taillight fragments got into his shirt? Is that what the theory is? Because science does not support that. Not only did the defense have access to Dr. Wolf, who is an expert in vehicle control history, but Nathan Reed, Karen Reed's brother, works at Toyota. He works at Lexus. You don't think he could have got one of the developers to come and refute the data if there was anything that was remotely refutable? Of course he would. So they couldn't find a single expert to argue the key cycle data, the vehicle control history. That means she hit him. Oh my God, she hit him. Wake up, people.
I agree with that she definitely hit him. And, just the whole way she carries herself and the whole don't care. Like, listen, if I was fighting for my life, you think I'm going to be laughing, joking, smiling, all happy, like, and enjoying the attention. She enjoys the attention she's getting from all of this. Okay. A little bit too much. So to me, it just shows right there. It's the Karen Reed show. And these people out there are Karen Reed followers. They're not John O'Keefe supporters. They're Karen Reed followers is what we're seeing out here in Denham, Mass. All right. And believe it or not, I'm just a couple weeks from being there. All right. Me and PJ will be up there covering this case for you guys live. She acts smug in the courtroom. I agree with that. And we'll be up there in support of John O'Keefe, the good side, the victim in this. Okay. Because everybody acts like Karen Reed is the victim and she's some hero that's standing up to the corruption in Massachusetts, right? And it's not the case. I was there. They got weed shops on every corner. The police are nice and polite, like, and you look at, if the police were corrupt, don't you think that Turtle Boy would be in jail if they were corrupt? If they had crooked police, Baby Gap would be in jail, Turtle Boy be in jail, everybody be in jail. Everybody up there is bad. Bad. Everybody's corrupt. But Karen Reed, the lady that just admitted last night that she was drinking and driving, that she could have hit him last night. Okay. She was pulling glass out his face. She was mad that he took her drink. All right. That drink she had took out the bar and John took it when he got out the car. She says in one clip, she never seen him go in the house. Then in another clip, she says she did see him go in the house, right? She says in one clip, she never went backwards. And then in another clip, she said she went backwards, right? So she's just lying. But these people defend her lies because they've made it up in their mind that because they've made friends, right? So they've made friends. And if they go against their friends, they feel like they'll lose friends. So they just overlook all the bad things Karen Reed has done and Turtle Boy have done. They just overlook it. I didn't see it. You don't see it. To them, it didn't happen. They didn't hear it. And you've seen how dumbass Baby Gap, every time you asked him something hard, he didn't remember. Right? When we said, well, the Celebrite expert came up there and said, this was what Celebrite expert? What expert? Huh? Who? Where? What was his name? Like he wouldn't want to admit that the search was made at 647. Right? He don't want to hear about the cracked tail light. It was done hitting the car. Well, how did it get there? How did these pieces get on John O'Keefe's clothes? Oh, well, they all lying, and you got John O'Keefe's friend, which wasn't even there. Why would she lie? What is her name? Carrie? Yeah, Carrie. Why would she lie? She's the one that said John was under a mountain of snow and Karen was crazy. Hey, that's John O'Keefe's friend. She wasn't there with the police to make shit up, right? So everybody's making shit up. Everybody's lying. Everybody's corrupt. Everybody's crooked, except for the lady that had 9 vodkas and sodas. And let me tell you this. You stand behind a car with me driving and I've drank 9 vodkas and sodas, I guarantee I run you over more than once. Okay? You might get ran over 5 times. I ain't a drinker. So 3 vodka and sodas, you might get ran over. 1, you might be all right. But once I get past that 2 and into the 3 mark, yeah, I'm feeling it by then. Okay? Imagine being 9 in. 3 get me drunk. So I'll be drunk times 3. Okay. I'm running you over, the neighbor over, and then I'm going to drive the car through somebody's house. Okay. That's how that shit's going to go. I'm going to wake up in a bedroom, just not mine, in my car. Okay. So I don't know. And she's a little lady. But listen, I've seen small people, honestly, that drink all the time and they can drink a lot. And I've seen big people, that can't drink. Like me, I can't drink. I drink a couple drinks, I'm buzzed up. Me and PJ went out to this really nice steak place for when was it? Valentine's Day, I think was the last time I drank. Or it was our anniversary. It was our anniversary, and I got these two little fruity drinks that were like some, what was it, raspberry lemonade, but it was, a cocktail. And I drank the first one, and I looked at PJ. I said, I don't even think they put no liquor in this. This thing tasted really good, right? So I got me another one. So I drank that one, and I drank it pretty quick too. So I drank two of them in a little short time. And then we get up to go leave the restaurant, and I'm like, oh yeah, they definitely put liquor in that. As soon as I went to stand up, I felt that shit. I was like, whoa. And but I didn't have to drive, right? So PJ drove. And but yeah, I felt that. That was at 2. Okay. And these were little girly drinks. And at 2 of them, I was like, yeah, I got me a little buzz going right now. So not beliberated like damn hammered like Baby Gap the other night. Oh, pissing on the stream. And oh my God, I forgot to re-upload that and tag everybody like Turtle Boy Tom and all his people. I might do that today when I get a little bit of time. So if you see that video air of Dolly, I'm going to title it too, Dolly Destroys Baby Gap. And in the Karen Reed case, because I want his colleagues to see it, because they probably don't watch me, but I want them to see that video. The people that support his bullshit. Okay. I want them to see that. All right. So matter of fact, I'll probably put that in the Facebook groups, the Free Karen Reed Facebook groups and everything. Okay. Because I'm an asshole like that. I'm an asshole like that. All right. So people got to know what they're dealing with, because he don't usually get he'll get a buzz on his channel. Like he'll drink out the coffee pot, and he used to keep it on the floor, and everybody knows that watches him, that knows he's drinking, right? He's a little bit of a drinker, and everybody knows that. So as it goes on, you can tell, you can watch him change, but he'll start off like, oh, let me drink this coffee. But really he's sipping and tipping. And he tends not to get too buzzed up on his channel, but he'll get late night. He'll go on other people's channel, not thinking because he's just drunk, sitting around lonely, right? Probably spanking to sign Karen Reed posters. And he'll jump on people's panels like he did mine, belligerent, like that's Free Karen Reed, factually innocent, right? So I've seen him do it multiple times. Slash and burn, crash and burn. He does it all the time, right? Sending nudes to men and stuff. Weird. Like I can only imagine how many nudes him and Turtle Boy have probably exchanged, right? And it just seems so odd to me, right? So yeah, I got to do that today. A little bit of embarrassing. Yeah, not for, listen, not for these people. You would think these things would embarrass you. It would embarrass me. Okay. I ain't saying I ain't never got drunk, right? I'm sure we're all adults. We've all been a little effed up. I ain't never got belligerent drunk and jumped on YouTube. Okay. I just ain't never done that. Right. Let me get shitty and get on somebody's panel where I can't even formulate a sentence and let me defend Karen Reed. Even drunk. We love you, Karen. Karen. Right? We love you. Those two are so wild. Weird. Okay. Baby Gab is a Turtle Boy wannabe. No, they're going to fight. Their relationship is going to end. All right. And I tell you, one of the things that was a shot at Turtle Boy was yesterday when Baby Gap tried to get Karen Reed to say The Glare is his favorite channel, and she wouldn't say it. All Baby Gap is doing is poaching people from Turtle Boy. He's a poacher, right? That's what he does. He tries to get in and grab your viewers. That's it. His strategy is old. He does it all the time. He'll find something that's popular. He'll get in there, agree with you, try to take your viewers, right? And then he'll act like he's better than you at what he done took from you. So that to me was a shot at Turtle Boy yesterday. Oh, Karen, tell him who your favorite YouTuber is. Well, let me tell you this. If she don't answer Turtle Boy needs to go crazy, because Turtle Boy is the one that came up with the conspiracy. Turtle Boy is the reason all these people are out there, right? Now, I don't agree with what he done, but he's the reason it's happening, okay? Tina G gifted $1 Dolly Vision membership. Baby Gap acts like he's done something, and really he's just a poacher. That's it. You the kind of person that would steal crabs out of somebody else's crab pots. That's all right. Hold on. Let's jump back over to this. They're back in court.
Because of some conflict that the defense has, we ordinarily would be ready to go. However, as the court knows, there is a significant appeal that's currently pending before the First Circuit based on Judge Saylor's opinion that was issued about a week ago. Given the complexion of what we're moving toward trial for, in other words, count 1, count 2,
thank you,
and
Tina.
count 3, we are mounting a defense based on those 3 counts. If the First Circuit, and I've been advised by our appellate counsel to bring this up, and it was something that he feels very strongly about, we all do.
Okay, Mr. Weinberg?
Mr. Weinberg, yes,
okay.
Martin Weinberg. If in fact the First Circuit were to agree with our appeal and were to take some action on count 1 and count 3, for instance, either dismiss it or take some other action, and
thank you, Lisa. I think
for additional action, that would set the trial into upheaval. If once the jury is sworn, jeopardy attaches, and once jeopardy attaches, if there were to be some action taken on count 1 and count 3, for instance, those counts were to be dismissed, we would then be compelled and impelled to move to dismiss the entirety of the trial at that point, because it's a very different defense on count 2 than it is on count 1, 2, and 3. It's a different jury that we would pick. It's a different strategy that we would employ, and jeopardy will have attached and the entire case would go away. Ergo, we believe the best practice for the court would be to continue the trial for purposes of letting the First Circuit make its determination about count 1 and count 3, and that's the reason for the motion.
All right, do you have any timeline on that?
I wish I did. I don't. I do have a generalized understanding of some of the briefing schedule, but in terms of the court making its decision, I don't. So we expect to get our brief in today, probably by the end of the day today. I believe the Commonwealth is going, or I believe that whoever it is that is appearing for the Commonwealth, or for the court, I should say, not the Commonwealth, for the court, is due to file their responsive brief, their opposition. I think it's next week. It may be as late as the 26th, I want to say. I'm going by memory, Judge. So it's Monday? Okay. Mr. Schillinger has just indicated, I appreciate that. Did I say your name correctly? Thank you. Just indicated that it's Monday. The opposition is Monday, and then the reply brief would be 2 days hence. So the briefing is going to be done in relatively short order. The decision, that's another question.
All right, thank you very much. Does it make sense for me to hear from Mr. Schillinger directly, or do you want to handle this, Mr. Brennan?
Thank you.
Good afternoon. So we do need you to say your name.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. Caleb Schillinger.
All right, Mr. Schillinger, I have no idea how this works. So why don't you tell us?
Sure. So as Attorney Jackson mentioned, Your Honor, Judge Saylor issued his decision denying petition for habeas relief last Thursday. The defendant is pursuing a further appeal to the First Circuit. The parties have agreed to an expedited briefing schedule in front of the First Circuit. The defendant filed her brief earlier today in the First Circuit. The respondent's brief is due Monday, the 24th, and then the defendant's reply brief is due Wednesday, the 26th.
He looks like
Attorney
Pee Wee
Jackson
Herman.
mentioned parties are able to control that much in terms of coming up with an expedited briefing schedule. How long it would then take for the appeal to be decided after that is unknown. And the parties don't have the ability, obviously, to dictate that. I think more broadly, Your Honor, in terms of the arguments here, certainly if it were possible to have all of this resolved before moving forward, it would be ideal to know which charges are going to go forward and which won't. At the same time, Commonwealth is obviously strongly opposed to moving the trial. And so, while perhaps unfair to Your Honor, if there is some intermediate ground or additional information that Your Honor would be able to provide, I think that that would be helpful. We could further discuss this issue and come back tomorrow.
They want to move it?
Note the motion for a stay that they are going to file, they have indicated, or Attorney Weinberg has indicated to me through email, will be filed with Judge Saylor, not with the First Circuit. So there's no deadline that that motion be filed today, tomorrow, or even Thursday. So this is not a decision that needs to be made immediately, Your Honor.
Okay.
And frankly, the Commonwealth would benefit from additional time to be able to discuss with the victim's family members, and to the extent perhaps the court is able to indicate whether some amount of time is feasible given the jurors' schedules that are coming in, Your Honor's schedule. That would be helpful information to inform this as well.
All right. I appreciate that. So one of the things that we would discuss at a final pretrial conference is how long this case is expected to take. So I think the Commonwealth filed or filled out the pretrial conference report a few weeks ago and said 20 trial days, 40. How many trial days do you remember you said, Mr. Brennan? Or what do you think your Commonwealth's case will be?
I don't remember what I put specifically, but I think if we have full trial days,
Yes.
5 days a week, I expect less than a month. I'm shooting for 3.5 weeks.
Okay. Mr. Jackson?
Your Honor,
24, I'm sorry.
our defense obviously is somewhat dependent upon the Commonwealth's presentation, but
Right.
my best estimate would probably be a week and a half, 2 weeks of full trial days for the defense, if I had to sort of throw a dart.
Okay. All right. The big question is jury impanelment. Again, I alluded to all the recent publicity that I think is going to be very problematic in getting a jury. So I'll let both sides talk. That makes sense to me. Months and months ago, we got the jury commissioner's office on this to get us the amount of jurors we need starting April 1st. That process will take additional months in order to, if we change the date. So that's very problematic. So I'll hear you all tomorrow on this then.
May we address the court at sidebar on one issue before you leave the bench?
Sure.
Six to 8 weeks for another trial. Yeah. All right, let's mute that so we don't have to hear the beeping. So 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully they'll pick a jury the first week. And then, of course, me and PJ, we're not going to be there for jury selection because basically you just be standing around waiting for them to pick the jury. And there's really not much to cover. So we're going to wait till jury selection is over. And then me and PJ will be there live en masse. Okay. I truly think it hurts her case on her documentary. I do too. There's no way it could help her case. I mean, she basically admitted that she was drinking and driving and she was drunk. She don't know what happened. She could have hit him. And yeah, it didn't sound good. She didn't sound like she even cared about John. Like, I just think it's real damaging what has happened for sure, right? Like, definitely not a good look for Miss Karen Reed here, all right? I should try the pizza when I go to Mass. I'll check it out. I can't eat a whole lot of pizza. I ate a little bit of pizza last night with turkey pepperoni instead of regular pepperoni. Because, I had that heart attack, so I got to watch what I eat. And just a little bit of cheese and turkey pepperoni. And it gave me the worst heartburn. You can't with her smirk. I know. Just remember this, guys. We're, a month and a half from that smirk being wiped from her face. And, time is coming. There would be no reason for a second trial. If they would have charged her with involuntary manslaughter, she would have already been in jail serving time for it. Tink, I disagree, because involuntary manslaughter means it's an accident. She was drinking.
To speak with
There's no such thing as an accident when you're drunk.
Okay, so see you Thursday. All right, thank you, everybody.
All right, that's court for Karen Reed today. All right. Now, I know that Turtle Boy should be in court today. Now, I don't know if that's any live coverage of Turtle Boy because nobody really gives two damns about him. He's a piece of shit. The news don't even want to watch him, right? But the news was there. Court TV was there for Karen Reed today. Just not so much your damn rest of these fools. Okay, so now let me see if there's any action outside today. Let's go to filters today. Well, no, NBC was covering it. Nothing really. Emily Baker, she covered it. She had 18,000 people watching her. Okay. But she's a former prosecutor, so I get it. And she has a huge ass channel. But why watch it there when you could have watched it with Dolly, the greatest of all time? Okay. Let's see. That's it. Just her talking about it, basically. And there was a podcast talking about it. And of course, your Melanie Little with her TikTok makeup on, and she had 10,000 people watching her. I don't get it. Why does she really even look like that? Was that really a picture of her with all the wrinkles? Tina G, thank you. She does got 10,000 people watching, though. These are all Karen Reed's. See, the popular thing is to be on the side of Karen Reed. I can't do it, though. I can't sell my soul like that. I don't know how many people can just sell their soul, but it is horrible. It is horrible if somebody could be like that. Oh, my God. So there's nobody, usually there's people airing outside the courthouse of what's happening. But right now I don't see nobody airing nothing outside the court. So, all right. We're going to find out, though. I seen Turtle Boy in the courtroom. Did you? I know he has court this afternoon. So he will be in court today himself. And we'll see how that turns out for him. I mean, he may be in jail by the end of the day. I doubt it, though. Like I said, his crime is basically non-violent. Like, he didn't hurt nobody. He's just like a mosquito. You know what I'm saying? He just buzzes around and aggravates the shit out of people. Dolly, are you going to draw numbers? Heck no, not me. She doesn't feel worse. I don't think we reached the goal, did we? Let's see. No, we didn't even reach the goal today. But we still got some other stuff to go over. young filters, where do the wrinkles go? Mustang Sally says, I don't know. Like when they showed a picture of her on her stream, she looked like she was 30. Then they showed a real picture and she looked like she was 60. Like, I don't know how they do that, but more power to her. I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So, all right. Well, since that is out the way, we can jump over to some other stuff before I got to get out of here. I didn't realize this was going to run so long this morning with the Karen Reed stuff. So, as you know, there's a bunch of new images of Sebastian Rogers coming out. Okay. And he looks happy. And all the new pictures of Sebastian, you know, we all pictured that his home life was so bad with Chris and Katie, right? Because, you know, I don't know, it seemed like at the end it wasn't good, but all these pictures they show of Sebastian, he looks like a happy young man. And Chris looks like a proud parent. I hate to say that. That's what it looks like in the pictures. You know, we see a picture that came out of Sebastian with him sitting in front of a laptop. But here's the thing. Everybody kept saying he had no computer access. But there he is in front of a laptop. You know, it's hard to believe that a 15-year-old kid don't have no access to the computer, right? And that's what they originally said. But then again, in the beginning, they also said he was almost non-functional and he peed himself and wore diapers. So I think a lot of the information that came out in the beginning of the Sebastian Rogers case was a lot of BS, right? And now we see them reeling that back a lot, Chris and Katie. And my question is it a little too late, right, in the Sebastian Rogers situation? Guilty of crime. Morning, Dolly and PJ. Love this community. True crime community on YouTube is an awesome community. There is some bad people in it, right? Or I consider them more of the crime people. But most of the true crimers themselves are passionate and good people. I enjoy the true crime community here on YouTube. But we see Chris and Katie, you know, bringing a lot of this stuff back. And my question is this: is it too late to earn the respect of the people on the internet, of the true crime community? Because I think a lot of the true crime community has lost respect for Katie and Chris because of how they handled things in the early stages of Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. As some people would say, you know, basically they ghosted the child or they Joe dirted them. Well, however you want to frame it, they basically packed their shit up and left instead of searching for their kid. And most parents out here, you know, I'm a parent. I have a daughter. She's 25. Matter of fact, she'll be 25 in 5 days. Okay. 25 years old. How time flies. Would never leave their kid. All right. Would never leave their kid. They would stay there and search or wait for the child to possibly come home. But that wasn't the case with Chris and Katie. They basically packed up and they left. Matter of fact, the grandparents went to Alaska. So Sebastian, even if he would have came home, he wouldn't have had nowhere to go. And, you know, over time, we didn't see them put together prayer vigils, nothing. Didn't really do much for the child publicly. Now, I can't say what they've done behind closed doors. I can just say what we have seen that they've done publicly, which is a whole lot of nothing. A big old nothing burger. But now, a year later, now they're trying to change their image a little bit, and they're putting out these pictures and they're sharing more on Sebastian. And let me tell you, it's better late than never. I'm going to say that first. But is it too late to earn the respect of the people back? Because if you look at the internet, if we did a poll right now, there's almost 900 people in the room. I guarantee you 800 of them people at least would say that these people are responsible and are the suspects in the disappearance of their child. Okay. That's not just me saying it, because, you know, I'm suspicious of these people, but I have no proof they've done anything wrong. Neither do the police, or they would be in jail. So right now, I just have suspicions, no facts. But I think no matter what they did at this point, if they came out right now and they put massive searches together, they put up a dope reward fund out of their pocket and started a foundation in Sebastian's name, I don't think the people would let it go. Okay? Because usually you on the internet, them first impressions, right, are lasting. That's what people, when they see you for the first time and that's what they get, they kind of convinced that that is just who you are. You know, and usually in some cases, it don't matter what you say. If you did the right things, people still get a hard time, right? Say that a parent comes out here and does perfectly everything right. They search for their kid. They're caring, loving parents, unlike Jen Soto, right? The worst mother ever, okay? Worst mother ever. Say they do everything right. People, they still get a hard time. If you look at like Brandy Neal, Monkey Vaughn's mother, she did everything humanly she could. And there's still people out here right now that blame Brandy and Tyler and give her a hard time. And we've watched this lady be heartbroken for 3 straight years, going through medical problems, her kids heartbroken, her heartbroken. It's crazy, but there's people out there, and she did everything what I would say right as a parent of a missing child. She's pretty much an advocate for other missing kids. She shares pictures of her kid every day. She hasn't given up the fight. And I mean, she fights. And still people blame her. Okay? Not me, of course. I feel so bad for Brandy. I just want some justice for her and for Michael Monkey Vaughn. But that's what I'm saying. A parent can do everything right, and they still catch the backlash of the internet. So even if, like I'm saying, if Chris and Katie came out now and they started sharing all these pictures and they're showing you how wonderful life was, and he always looked happy in the pictures. I haven't seen one picture of Sebastian where he wasn't happy. So his home life couldn't have been but so bad all the time. I don't know if it was something that transpired and then maybe it went bad, or weird as this sounds, what if they're telling the truth? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I highly doubt it. But what if they are? And they just strange ass people. It could be possible. I think the odds of that are low, but I never rule it out. I never rule it out. You know, because if they are, it comes out one day that they are innocent. You know, I'm going to have to owe these people an apology, because that's just the type of person I am. Not that I blame them, I suspect them. There's a difference between blaming somebody and suspecting them. Now, but still, either way, I feel like if I was wrong, I would owe them an apology for doubting their story, right? Because maybe they're truthful people, just their story is so bizarre and don't make any damn sense. Let's be honest. It don't make any damn sense. But, you know, I try to keep an open mind that anything could happen, and maybe they act this way because maybe medication, some people say, or, you know, why she's so emotionless. Dolly, don't be fooled by nice pictures. Look back at Gabby Petito. Dallas, you're absolutely right. Every Gabby Petito picture, she looked happy and amazing, looked like the world was the best place ever. And behind the scenes, it was a life of misery. Right? You're absolutely right. I don't forget that, Dallas. I'm glad you said something like that. It's true. You can't. It's just like my Facebook. You go to my Facebook, you're going to see all the things of me having fun and living a great life. But there's days that it's boring and my life sucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, right? I ain't happy all the time. But people don't show the bad parts of life. They only show the good stuff. If you was miserable, would you want somebody taking a picture of you? Hell no, right? You're usually only going to take a picture when you're happy, right? So I get it. And I like what I'm saying is I understand it. Like I said, even if they showed everything and did everything right at this time, I just don't think they will get the support of the true crime community. You know, like it's really not about the pictures or whatever they do. Like they could become saints at this point, and people would still say they done it. Right. So if they think while doing this or doing that, it's helping their cause, right? Or they're getting a different persona of who they are out there. I'm here to tell you it ain't. Even if you truthfully didn't do nothing and you do all these things, people are still going to be on your ass because of the way you guys, they acted in the very beginning of this. Okay. People they can't get past that. And once their mind is made up on who you are, yeah, no one takes those pictures, right? Only people take pictures when they're happy. They're not going to change their mind on you, right? So you might as well just stay and hide and wait till there's some answers, you know. And if everything continues the way that it's going right now, I know this is sad, there's not going to be answers. This is going to be another Summer Wells case, and this goes into my psychic abilities, and people hate to hear me say it, but I feel it in my heart that it's going down that same path as Summer Wells. And you know, the bad thing is they're both in Tennessee, and the situations are pretty similar in that. So, you know, I was watching some. I'm going to jump around a little bit because I got to pick up the speed because it's getting late in the afternoon. And I print some t-shirts. So in the Maddie and Jen Soto stuff, I was just watching some stuff on Court TV last night about, you know, Jen Soto being, you know, the number one witness against Stephen Stearns in this trial that's coming up in August, which I will be at. Okay. September. It's early August, into August, early September. Is Stephen Stearns, and it almost falls around the same time as CrimeCon and Brian Kohlberger. So, you know, I'm going to be in Mass for Karen Reed. I'm going to be in Florida for Stephen Stearns, and I'm going to be in Idaho for Kohlberger if everything rolls off with no delays. Okay, if the time and everything time is perfect, but Jen Soto being the number one witness for the state to prosecute Stephen Stearns. I just have such a hard time with that because I feel like Jen Soto is just as responsible for her child's death, if not more, than the killer because she handed her daughter over on a silver platter. This woman should be in prison for the rest of her life. And I know the state wants the worst punishment for Stephen Stearns. They want the death penalty. And with her as a witness, they will get the death penalty, right? But I felt like they could get the death penalty without her as a witness. Right? Because this lady's not winning Mom of the Year, Person of the Year, or anything anytime soon. Okay? Just not going to happen. To see that they're going to use this lady and give her immunity. And listen, when they were interrogating her, they told her, listen, we're going to give you immunity for this interview as long as you don't lie and you're truthful. And she lied right in the interview. They asked her, did you know Stephen's number? And she said no, while she was texting Stephen Stearns in the other room. You know, the whole telling his dad to get him a lawyer. You should want him, the whole not wanting him prosecuted. Well, can I wait and make up my mind if I want to prosecute? They just told you this man was doing this to your daughter for years, and you want to wait to prosecute him? He's doing this to your daughter, but you swear still that he won't hurt her, right? You believe he did to M, you know, the big bad for 6 years, but you don't believe he killed your daughter? Lady, you need to get the hell up out of here. Not only, like, I wouldn't care if they put him in the electric chair and she sat on his lap and they strapped him down together and they hit his ass with 100,000 volts. To me, it's disgusting because the way they're perceiving things now, or he's portraying things, that Jen Soto started this. She knew exactly what was going on this whole time. She knew they were having a relationship. That goes into the Woody Allen effect, okay? The whole Woody Allen effect. And what do you need to convict somebody? Okay, what the hell do you need? I think Maddie was pregnant. A lot of people think that, and a lot of people gave me hell when I was the first one to come out and say something about it. But that video did 70,000 plays. I seen it. Matter of fact, when I was searching for a thumbnail for the day, a picture of them, I was on Google and my thumbnail popped up from the baby bump, and it said 69.5K views on it. And I was like, damn, I didn't realize so many people had watched that video. And I think the first person to say something to me about it was Rose. Rose said, I think she might have been pregnant. And I was thinking, hey, Tiff. And I was thinking, well, there may be something to that. And I started thinking about it. And I was like, that may be some motive to it. And I put out that baby bump picture, right? And so many other creators got mad and was hating on me. How dare him say this about this little girl, blah, blah, blah. But now we move forward in time. You go, well, damn, Dolly. Technically, Rose is the one that made me think about it. But look at it now with the pregnancy test and the birth coins where you see who changes the diaper. I don't know if she was pregnant, but I think they thought she was pregnant. And that may have been the motive. They knew that shit was about that. It was about to come crumbling down on them. The fact that if this girl is pregnant, everybody's going to know and they're going to jail. And then it became the issue of let's get rid of her. Because they never heard, listen, the dude had been abusing this child for years. Why would just one day he go, okay, well, today's the day I'm going to unalive her? And what 13-year-old wants to go live in the woods, But my whole thing on the whole Jen Soto thing is this lady should not have immunity. Not only should she not have immunity, she should be sitting in jail right now. She never, New York was fine. I'm tired. I bet you are. You've had a busy week. Are you still on the train? Are you on the train? And to see things like this as a human, see, my daughter's in the chat room right now. I'm ready to be home with my dogs. Okay. It's your natural instinct to be protective of your child. Not my birthday yet, but thank you. Yeah, Tiff is 5 days away from being 25 years old. How time flies. I'm an old ass man. Good Lord. Okay. But my kid's still alive. She has all her fingers and toes. I think my job is pretty much, your job as a parent is never done. You're always a parent. But I think the easy part is over. She's harder to deal with grown, right? When she was a baby, she was perfect. Now she's grown, and this comes the hard part as a parent. Dealing with your grown-ass kids is the hard part. When they're little, easy as hell. But when they get older and they start wanting this and that, and hey, Dad, can you loan me my car payment? It gets a little rougher. But, as a parent, it's your natural instinct to protect your kids. And when you purposely fail your kids or you hand your kids over to a monster, like I don't feel bad I feel bad she's not in jail, right? But I figured this. If me and Tiff's mama could raise a kid, anybody can. Okay. So if we can do it and you can't, something is wrong. Okay. Something is wrong. And I don't want to see her as a witness. I want to see her as a co-defendant. She should be sitting right beside him. And of course he should get the death penalty and she should get life in prison, if not the death penalty herself, because she, and they are crazy, y'all. See, there you go. See? And we were able to do it. And you ain't dead in a river nowhere, right? So she should be in jail. There's no other way around that. And hopefully, you know, she walks out in a lightning storm and gets her ass struck by lightning, because that's what she needs. And you look at it, which one's worse? The person that handed you over to a monster, or the monster? Because it never ends, Dolly. I know. And time this happens, you know, listen, when the weather starts to warm up, people get crazy. Okay, hold on, PJ's calling. I just missed it. Shit. I ordered us lunch. Awesome. Awesome. I get to eat. PJ's gonna feed me. That's good. I thought I was gonna sit here and starve to death today. Does Maddie Soto really get justice? That's my question for you guys on the replay crew. You know, and just like I asked about Sebastian, I want y'all to answer that when I'm done here today in the comment box down below. Is it too late for them to save face, the Sebastian Rogers' parents? And in the Maddie Soto case, like, will Maddie ever really get justice? Because I feel she won't. I feel that, you know, Stephen Stearns will get the death penalty. I'm pretty confident in that aspect, that he will get the death penalty. But Jen Soto walks with that. Okay? She walks. And to me, that's only half justice. Okay? Because the other person that's responsible for the death of this beautiful young lady is going to walk free. These court cases take too long. I agree with you. And because, you know, that they waived their rights to a speedy trial. So just like the Kohlberger trial, the closer it gets, it may get pushed back. Motions, things like that. Karen Reed, you know, like if everything goes off without a hitch, and everything is planned and everything stays on schedule, I'll be at the Karen Reed, me and PJ, Stephen Stearns, and Brian Kohlberger. And I think them are the three biggest cases going on this year. And of course, whatever pops off this summer, because, you know, every time it becomes summer, somebody goes missing. There's always everybody, the weather warms up and crazy stuff happens. There's a couple missing girls right now. And then when I come back later today, I'm probably going to talk about these two missing young girls. So I'm going to go eat lunch, take a little break, because I've been here with you guys for 4 hours. And I don't know, let's shoot for about, let's say 2:30. I'll be back around 2:30, and hopefully I will see you guys then. And remember, hold on, PJ's calling. Hello? Oh, they were found? Are they okay? Hello? Oh, okay, so they were found. Hopefully they're alive. Okay. Safe. Okay. All right, they were found safe. All right, that's good news. Yeah, I'm sure they did. All right, love you. All right, bye. Okay, somebody said, I think I should unsub. Why would you want to unsub there? Is this channel not for you? Yeah, I don't know. Is there something I said something you didn't like? We're a channel about justice here. When your ass deserves to be in prison or the electric chair, we talk about it. Okay, so I'm not coming back to talk about them girls. That's good news. They found safe. That is awesome. But, you know, there's still a ton of other true crime out there that we got to talk about. So I'll be back with you guys around 2:30. Hopefully I will see you then. Peace.